Well, good evening and welcome to the Board of Education meeting for Greeley Evans School District 6. This is the 13th day of December 2021. This meeting will now come to order. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Lemon, will you give us a roll call, please?
Director Bentley.
Present.
Director Mash.
Present.
Director Matthews.
Present.
Director Mueller.
Present.
Director Norwood.
Present.
Director Pappas.
Present.
Director Sullivan.
Present.
7 board members present.
Thank you, Ms. Lemon. Well, again, welcome to the Board of Education meeting, whether you are here in person or are online. And if you are online, you can't see, but we have a full house tonight. And what that means for us is there are a lot of people to recognize. We have a lot of special students in this district, and so we are excited to recognize all the different students that are here tonight, as well as a teacher or two. A couple of things I want to bring to your attention. First, on our consent agenda, if you follow our board meetings with any regularity, you know I often refer to our consent agenda, and that's the agenda that we've all 7 agreed upon that doesn't need any discussion from us, but because it doesn't get discussion doesn't mean it's not important. And there's something that is on that consent agenda, again, I would like to draw your attention to, and that's our mill levy certification. And one of the great things that our financial department does is they give us a historical context for just about everything we do. They don't just tell us what we're spending in 2021, they tell us what we're spending in and what we have spent throughout the years. And if you ever want to know how this works, mill levies are how we levy taxes, and it's how we fund this school district. And I just want to point out that in 2021, we had a total of 50.596 mills that we levied. And the way that works is you look at your assessed value of your home and you multiply that by a percentage, and you can only be taxed, the state says, on 7.15% of your assessed value of your home. So you multiply your home value by 0.0715, and then you multiply that by 0.050596, and that's actually what you're taxed on. Your taxes that go to District 6. And the reason I bring that up is because I've been campaigning the last few months, and I would have people tell me, well, you know, my taxes have gone up because of the mill levy override and because of a bond, and that's true if you're comparing your taxes to what you spent in 2015. So taxes have gone up since 2015, but if you look back to 2001, you'll see that the mills that we levied in 2001, 20 years ago, is they were 50.32 mills. Pretty much the same number of mills in 2001 as in 2021, except that in 2001, that number was not 7.15% that you were taxed on because of the Gallagher Amendment that has pushed that number down. Back then, that number was 9.15%. And what that means is that in 2001, the taxpayers paid $486.78 on every $100,000 of home value. In 2021, even with the mill levy override and even with the bond issue that we passed, we pay $361.76 on every $100,000 of home value. So again, if you're looking at 2015, taxes have gone up because in 2015, taxes were at a historic low because of a recession and a couple of amendments to the Constitution that had some unintended consequences. But I just want to point out, if you're looking at 20 years ago, we're actually paying less, paying less for public education. And because there's an opportunity to talk about school finance, I like to take just about every opportunity that I can. I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about teachers and what we continue to hear from teachers, because for the first time in some time, we've gotten to go to schools this semester. And what we have heard consistently, and as I look out in the audience, I think I've heard it from actually some of you. And this is true of teachers. Well, it's true of teachers. It's true of administrators. It's true of school counselors. It is true of high school teachers, and I've heard it from middle school teachers. I've heard it from elementary school teachers. I've heard it from the high schools that are unmasked, and I've heard it from the high schools that wore masks for a short time. And that's this. This has been the hardest semester. And that's saying something, considering this is our fourth semester in COVID, but it wasn't spring of 2020 when we took the entire district in a matter of 2 weeks. Everybody went online, and it wasn't the fall of 2020 when this district went back in person, when so many school districts around the country stayed online, and that was a scary time for our teachers. It wasn't the spring of 2021. Last spring, when what was going on last spring? When we had so many quarantines, right? And that was different as well. And teachers were teaching simultaneously in class and online, but almost to a person. Every teacher, every counselor, every administrator I've talked to has said, this is in 20 years of teaching, some of them, this is the hardest semester ever. And so as we close down this semester, and we have a lot of students in the room, we have a lot of parents in the room, this is not the year to neglect teacher gifts. And this is not the year to not write thank you notes. This is a time to be appreciative of what our teachers have done in this district, not just this semester, but for the last 4 semesters in particular. And so take the time to thank your teachers, your counselors, your school administrators, and all those who make this possible for everyone. Well, that's all I have to say tonight. And so we are now moving on to our public participation regarding agenda items. And this board welcomes the comments of our community members and has dedicated this portion of the agenda to provide an opportunity for the community to present brief comments or pose questions to the board related to items that are listed on tonight's agenda. Written testimony or speaker handouts must be submitted to the board secretary, not to individual board members. The board typically does not engage in discussion or provide an immediate response to the input, but will ask district staff to respond as appropriate. The board is committed to providing a safe environment where all members of the school community are treated with dignity and respect, and expects all speakers to exercise their speech rights responsibly. Undue interruption or other interference with the orderly conduct of board business will not be allowed. Any person who disturbs order may be required to leave. Defamatory or abusive remarks are always out of order, and the speaker may terminate their privilege of address if, after being called to order, the speaker persists in improper conduct or remarks. Speakers will be heard in the order in which they are signed up to speak, and comments are limited to 2 minutes. If more than one person wishes to speak on the same topic, please focus comments on providing only new information and not repeating views already expressed by the other speakers. Thank you in advance for your participation. And our first speaker tonight is Stephen Paulson, member of District 6 staff, here to speak on Avid. Is Mr. Paulson here? Thank you, Mr. Paulson.
I definitely don't need 2 minutes. I've got the opportunity to present Avid to all of you, but I would back up what you said, that I've taught 11 years, all in District 6.
Mr. Paulson, could you speak a little bit more, I'm sorry, just a little bit more directly into the microphone?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
So my name is Stephen Paulson. I've been teaching in the district for 11 years, all secondary ed. I would back up what you said, that this has been the most challenging semester I've had in the last 11 years. But the reason I wanted to speak is the power of our programs and what they're doing for kids, and seeing what I personally experienced with Avid, watching kids who are first generation students who are now not only going to college for free on all these scholarships and grants that they've received, but they're coming back into the community. I now have a student teacher who is a Greeley West graduate who's now my PTEP, and we're trying to hire her at the end of the school year. And I think a lot of our programs, not just the Avid program, but there's a lot of great programs that we have in the school district that are making a big difference for students. And I just want to make sure that everyone that's on the board, new to the board, we know the importance of these programs and what they're doing, because they're not just helping the kids while they're students, they're coming back into the community and giving back to our community.
Thank you, Mr. Paulson. Our next speaker is Elias Morales, resident of District 6, Chapelo second grade student. Here to talk about how the staff at her school is helping to her to be a better person and get ready for her future. Oh, sorry.
Good evening, school board members and community. I am Elias Morales, and I am in second grade at Chapelo. I would like to share with you what I do every day at school and about the amazing people who help me. First, every day I see Mr. Greenlee. He keeps us safe by crossing us across the street. There are people at the front door to greet us and to give us masks so we can be safe from COVID. Miss Mieta is my teacher. She is welcoming and she helps me learn. She wants me to become a better person. If you came to my classroom, you would see me learning suffixes and reading difficult books, learning vocabulary words and how to find the main idea of the text. Math is next. I love math. We are working on line plots and measurement. I am learning all day long. We had our first in-person concert since I started Chapelo, and Mrs. Davis directed us and did a beautiful job leading us. You can watch it on YouTube. I saw a little bit of the last board meeting, and I was sad to see how people were treating each other. As key president says, it's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to be mean. Thank you, school board members and community, for keeping us safe, for helping all of us and keeping us safe.
Thank you, Elias. Our next speaker is Ms. Sherry Pyp, a resident of District 6, here to speak on consent agenda item staff bonus.
Good evening, and thanks. How appropriate that you brought up the consent agenda. I want to say before I get started, I'm not supporting the school's curriculum or your policies or watchdogging how you conduct your business or defending board members and such does not mean that I do not support the teachers of the school district. In fact, one of the agenda items on your consent agenda tonight probably should be about 10 times the amount that you're offering to the current teachers in this district. They deserve more than what you're giving them in school bonuses. That being said, what I am frustrated about is that it's on a consent agenda. It's a $2.2 million budget item. And Rob, Kyle, and Taylor, you get a pass on this because you've not only been on the board for one meeting, you haven't had an opportunity to know and not know what a consent agenda is all about. That being said, the other 4 members of this board have been sitting up here for at least 4 years, sometimes 5, 6, and 7 years. And you all know that $2.2 million is not a consent agenda item. I hope and pray that someone will have the courage to take that off of the consent agenda, put it on the regular agenda, discuss it in public, tell everybody who continues to hear on a daily basis that the school district needs more money where the $2.2 million was found, and then vote yes on it, because as I said before, I fully support the bonuses, but it needs to be done in public, transparent, and before everybody else, so that we have an opportunity to understand where the $2.2 million came from that was not budgeted at the beginning of this school year. So I would ask one of you, when it comes time to do so, to pull that from the consent agenda and let the public understand where this money is coming from. So the next time you're asking us for more, we understand why we need it to give to you, and it's not just being slid under the carpet in a consent agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pyp. Next speaker tonight is Blanca Romero, as a parent of a student enrolled in District 6, here to speak on Innovation 2030, AP, IB, and Avid update. And we'll need a Spanish interpreter, has been requested, and so we're allowing Ms. Romero twice the time for her to speak, and then for it to be interpreted as well. So do we have Ms. Romero? Ms. Romero? Okay, I don't think Ms. Romero is with us tonight. Our next speaker is Mr. Jesse Quimby, resident of District 6, citizen of feedback on building and bond. Mr. Quimby, welcome. You'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you. President Matthews and the Board of Directors and Dr. Pilch, it's good to be with you this evening. My name is Jesse Quimby. I'm on the Bond Oversight Committee. However, I'm not representing the Bond Oversight Committee tonight. I'm just representing myself as a citizen and giving my observations from following the construction process and meeting with Mr. Henson and the other committee members and doing walkthroughs of the construction sites. And I've got to tell you in the community that I'm very impressed just with the whole totality of this construction project. It's incredible. The citizens of District 6 community entrusted the board with $395 million to upgrade the brick and mortar of our education system. And from a layman's viewpoint, I think we're getting the best bang for our buck. And I'd like to share that with the community also. We can be proud as a community with what we're doing for our kids. And I'd like to keep that moving forward. And as I've said many times before, as our schools go, so goes our community. Thank you this evening for giving me the opportunity, and you all have a good evening and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Quimby. I think those are all the speakers signed up tonight to speak on our agenda items. We'll have another portion of our meeting dedicated to speech regarding those that need to speak to us regarding non-agenda items. Our next item is our work session report. And so, Ms. Lemon, will you read our work session report for us?
Board of Education President Michael Matthews began the work session with comments and updates from board members and then proceeded to review the calendar of upcoming events to conclude the work session.
Thank you, Ms. Lemon. We're now to our superintendent's report. And so, Dr. Pilch, I invite you to give your comments now.
Thank you, President Matthews, and I will keep it brief because I know we have a lot of students who are here this evening to be recognized, and their family members and their teachers and coaches are with them tonight. But I'd like to introduce to you all some of our latest recommendations for hiring, and they are on the board agenda tonight. And so I'd like to bring those individuals up and just let you see who they are. I'm especially pleased that the folks we bring you tonight are all internal candidates. So every one of these resulted in a promotion from within. And that is not because we didn't have candidates. These were all very competitive candidate pools. We had great candidates for each of these positions, and we are doing the work we need to do to create the succession plans here in the system to have people ready for that next job. So I'd first like to invite Bruce Corbin and Shauna Stinnett to come up. And because this is kind of a 1-2 movement here with Bruce and Shauna. So Bruce Corbin had previously served he's been in the district, Bruce, 23, 24 years. When I first came to the district, Bruce was the building manager in this building. And then he became the daytime supervisor for the district and has worked closely with Troy Pettyjohn, who you all know retired recently and has been very committed to District 6. Bruce graduated from Greeley Central High School and studied criminal justice at UNC, and we just feel so fortunate to have him here in the district and to be able to have promoted him to the position of the new custodial department manager position that was vacated by Troy Pettyjohn. So when we vacated Bruce's position, we had to promote somebody else or find somebody else to fill in there. And so Shauna Stinnett is here tonight, and I'm so pleased to have her here and to recognize her as okay, Shauna, tell me the position is day foreman. Thank you. I was gonna say day supervisor, day foreman. And so what that means is Shauna will oversee, hundreds of daytime custodians and building managers here in the district. And she'll be doing the work Bruce was doing before Bruce was moved into this position. Shauna has been in the district 24 years. She's done almost every job in the custodial department. but most of her time has been spent as the admin assistant for the custodial department. And so we're really excited to have both of you in these jobs, and so pleased to be able to bring people up from within the system and just have a lot of confidence in both of you to do the work that needs to be done here. So congratulations to you both. And this is our goal. Thank you so much. So these next individuals I'm going to bring up are folks who we have recently selected for assistant principal positions. So you all know, we see Justin Ungerhar back there. Justin, give us all a wave. So Justin was appointed last month as the principal at the new pre-engineering academy, Twainton Academy. And so that left a vacancy at Montfort Elementary for the principal position where Justin had been serving. And I'm just really pleased, Pamela Bach, come on up. Let's see who you are. So Pam has been in the district, and really until this position, she's followed Justin somewhat. She worked with him at his previous site prior to coming to Montfort, and we were excited to be able to move her up as the principal at Montfort Elementary School. She served at East Memorial and at Bella Romero both, where she worked with Justin, and now Justin will be her colleague just a little ways across town to support her. Her background is as an elementary teacher and taught second grade and has provided special services to students, and really is an expert at instruction and ensuring that students have access to content. So Pam, congratulations. So excited to have you moving into the principal position, which means we now have to hire an assistant principal at Montfort because Pam leaves the assistant principal position vacant as she moves to the principal position. Congratulations, Pam. So next, I'd like to bring up, speaking of Twainton Academy, we need an assistant principal there, right? Well, we actually need two. So I'd like to bring up Russell Tupper and Cassandra Guy, if the two of you would come up and feel, a little uncomfortable, a little embarrassed as I talk about the two of you a little bit. So both Russell and Cassandra come up from within the system as well. Cassie had been a teacher in our system, teaching fifth grade and teaching, had been an interventionist, has been at Madison Elementary as well as Scott Elementary, and has been here since 2007. And so Cassie, it's just really an honor to move you into the assistant principal role, one of the assistant principal roles at Twainton Academy, and have you take that role. Cassie has a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Spanish and is fluent in reading and writing and understanding of Spanish and speaking of Spanish. So we're excited about that and know that that will be a great addition also at Twainton Academy. So welcome, Cassie, congratulations, and thanks for being here. And your new partner, who will have the other office there as assistant principal, is Russell Tupper. I think you all may remember, Russell came to the district here in 2018, shortly after I came to the district, and he has served as a dean of students, a behavior interventionist there. His background is primarily special education, where he was a special education TOSA in the St. Vrain Valley School District. But he's done great work at Winograd as the dean of students there, and this is an opportunity for him to take that experience and that work to another K-8 as we open a new building. And just so excited to have you, Russell, and thank you for joining the District 6 team when you did in 2018 so that we'd have an opportunity to promote you into this position. Again, that leaves another opening then, right, at Winograd. So, this is the thing about hiring and having good people is they eventually will be promoted, and then there'll be another opening. So we'll bring somebody up behind both of these folks. I should have mentioned Cassie's current role is coordinator in the English Language Development Department. And so she's gonna, the culture, linguistic work she has done, she's gonna leave a big gap there. I'm sure they're already panicked about who's going to come up behind you, Cassie, and do that work alongside your partner there, Jessica Cooney. So congratulations to both of you, and welcome to your new positions. Thank you for the opportunity to do that. We haven't always done that. I think we started this here as we started to come out of the lockdown from the Zoom work. so that you'd have a chance to meet the new administrators as they come into the system. And I think it's just so important to have them here. Did I forget somebody?
Meeker.
Oh my gosh, Allison Ferguson. Come up here, Allison Ferguson. Oh, golly. All right, I'm going to wing it because I don't have anything written about you, Allison, but I know you. Thank you, Justin. See, this is how my people have my back. They make sure Allison Ferguson, I'm so sorry, Allison. Allison has been promoted as well to the principal position at Meeker Elementary School that was vacated by Kathy Nelson, who is retiring at the end of this year. And Allison tell us how long you've been in the district, Allison. 11 years? So Allison has been at Billy Martinez Elementary and was a part of that turnaround work at Billy Martinez. She was there when Billy Martinez had some of the rankings that we knew we had to turn around and do that project-based learning work to turn that school around. And so Allison was a key partner with her former principal there at Martinez to do that work. And since moving to Meeker here 2 years ago, you know, we knew Kathy was close to retirement and we were getting her ready. And she has certainly exceeded all of our expectations in the work she's done there at Meeker. And I really look forward to the work she's going to do next there. You know, it's always hard when a long-term principal leaves and retires from the system, and it's an opportunity to also take the school to the next level. It's my analogy of when you get a new car, you don't get a car that performs less than your last car, right? You get a better car. So Allison, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing what kind of car you bring. So congratulations. All right, I think I got everybody now. Thank you for my do-over there. Again, I'm just so pleased to be able to bring people up within the system and have these opportunities in our system. And we're just so fortunate. You know, I think we've really seen our candidate pool shift in the last 5-6 years. And we are hearing from candidates, you know, that this is a destination district and people want to be here. And that includes our people who are right here in our system. So thank you, President Matthews.
Thank you, Dr. Pilch. Our next item is the approval of our agenda for tonight, and this is an action item that will require a motion.
I move that the Board of Education of Greeley Evans School District 6 approves the agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you both. Is there any discussion on the agenda tonight? Hearing none, Ms. Lemon, will you give us a roll call vote, please?
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Nash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Mueller? Aye. Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Pappas?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Lemon. Our next item is our consent agenda, and this is also an action item that will also need a motion.
I move that the Board of Education of Greeley Evans School District 6 approves items as presented on the consent agenda and authorizes the officers to sign any and all contracts.
Second.
Thank you both. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? Ms. Mash?
I would like to pull item 7.13 staff bonus from the consent agenda. I move that we do that.
All right. The way consent agenda works, everyone, is consent means it's consented by all of us, so it doesn't need a second for Ms. Mash to pull that, and we'll move that down into our other items. Thank you, Ms. Mash. That item is removed from our consent agenda. Is there any other discussion on our consent agenda? Hearing none, Ms. Lemon.
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Nash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Mueller? Aye. Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Pappas?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Lemon. Our next item is a report from our Council of Student Representatives. And so as they're coming up, Dr. Pilch, I'll let you introduce them.
Thank you so much, President Matthews. I'm actually going to let them introduce themselves as they come up. Ms. Rasmus, we're ready for our Council of Student Reps to make their way up. And I think they're going to do a couple things for us here tonight. I think first, Jilly is going to give us kind of an overview of what the Council of Student Reps has been doing since they gathered together. So I think we'll do that. And then I think we'll have the students talk a little bit about some of the agenda items tonight. As I met with them last week with Dr. Olson, who's coming to the podium as well now, when we met last week, we talked a little bit about the strategic plan, Innovation 2030, and some of the opportunities that they see in that strategic plan. And I think some of them are going to talk tonight about their experiences in Avid, or advanced placement or international baccalaureate, right? So Dr. Olson, do you want to speak, or do we want to just turn it over to the students?
I'm happy to turn it over to the
That's great.
students, if that's okay.
Yep.
And we're actually going to start with Carter.
Okay.
She's going to start, and then they know what order they're on.
Okay, that is great. Thank you, Carter.
Hello, my name is Carter Anderson. I am a junior at Frontier Academy and I am the secretary for CSR. So I have the opportunity to speak on both CSR policies and the things that we've been doing lately, as well as advanced placement in AP and college level classes. So CSR now has members from 9 different schools in the district, and we spent our first meeting electing officers and working on our goals for documents and the personal development of our schools with our principals. In our second meeting, we were able to vote on the anti-bullying and harassment posters for Tom Grimble's department, as well as speaking to Dr. Pilch herself about Innovation 2030 and our roles with these goals, and we were able to have that conversation of the way that the student district board felt we fit in best in that situation. We planned which schools are going to the next meetings for the future meetings in 2021. 2022. It's always an interesting day. And we're looking forward to plan some well-met events and the spring community events while we're getting to know each other better and build relationships within our small community. So we're really excited about that. For AP and college level classes, I've had a lot of really amazing opportunities through Frontier Academy. I wasn't planning to go to college for a pretty long period of time, so a lot of the college classes that I took through AIMS and concurrent enrollment, as well as taking AP classes, were because of my interest in the classes that I was taking and being able to challenge my brain as I was going. And then later on this year, I decided that I wanted to enroll and look into getting an associate's degree before I graduated high school. So I had that really unique opportunity to be able to get all of those classes done and only have to pay for 2 of those college classes because of concurrent enrollment and the amazing opportunities that my school has provided for me. And I'm able to spend that time outside of high school, being able to travel and gain some internships so I can get experience to hopefully own my own business someday. So it's a really large blessing.
Hi, my name is Jilly Huang. I'm a junior at Greeley High School, and I'm also the vice president of the Council of Student Representatives. I'm going to sum up what Carter said. So far, we've gotten a lot of things done with only 2 meetings. We were able to talk to Dr. Pilch, and it was, we actually learned a lot. We were able to learn about the fundings that goes behind like our like computers and technology that goes into our schools, and to be able to ask Dr. Pilch questions, which it was pretty cool. And we're planning on creating like different events that not only high school members but also community members can join us and get to know us better, and to get to know each and every high school here in Greeley. I'm also here to talk about IB. I'm currently a full DP student at Greeley High School. IB not only incorporates all the core subjects that are similar to AP classes, but we also have theater, film, art, and this year at West, we also have orchestra and band DP courses that incorporates not only learning the music, but also applying it and creating our own and researching. We also have world languages that allows us to be able to communicate to more people around not only Greeley, but also the country. That's one of the big reasons why I chose to be an IB, because it challenges me the most. And it's not just about knowing the subjects, but also applying them to real world situations. some good stuff that has happened this year so far is the Group 4 retreat to YMCA. It was really successful. We were able to get to know the seniors, and the seniors were also able to be in this tradition. We also have our lunch sessions where we can study but also have fun with each other. IB helps a lot of people, and it gives us a group of people that we trust and can also know the same stressful situations that we are in. And not only is it school related activities, but also community activities, which really helps us. Some advice I would give to future students that might want to be an IB is to not procrastinate. But anyone can be an IB as long as they're willing to work hard enough, and I feel like it's a really good choice to anyone who wants to challenge themselves. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Perla Herrera. I am a senior at University High School, and I will be talking about, as well as they did, the AP and dual enrollment classes. The AP and dual enrollment classes at university are great. We have AP Geography all the way to dual enrollment business. I have taken 5 AP classes and 1 dual enrollment class. I have taken 5 AP classes and 1 dual enrollment class throughout high school. These classes have allowed me to understand the expectations that college will ask of me. They've allowed me to challenge myself and brought me out of my comfort zone. I would tell students who want to take these classes but aren't sure yet to just do it. Because although AP classes might be easier, the tests you take are challenging and prepare you for the test in college. I would also tell them that in dual enrollment classes, if you get better than a C, you get a college credit. And with the more credit you have, the less classes you have to take in college. In some cases, students who have taken these classes have less of a hard time adjusting to the expectations of college classes. To the amazing adults who run these programs, the advice I would give would be to add more classes that focus on what the student will be majoring in, so that they're not so surprised by them rather than already have an understanding of what to expect. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Tommy Medina, and I'm a junior at Greeley Central High School. What I'm here to talk about is the AP programs at Central. So throughout my high school year, I took out 5 AP classes. I always wanted to go to college, but okay, sorry. I'm just loud in general. I always wanted to go to college, but my family is not on the high wealthy spectrum. So when I heard of AP programs that I can get college credit for, I was like, I'll take it, because that helps every student who doesn't have the funding to go to college to take those classes, and they can. And so I took them, and I'm getting my way up there. What I also want to know is tell you guys that what I would tell freshmen is my freshman year, I had half of the school year with COVID, and my first AP test during COVID years online, and that did not go well. I would tell them is just to study and read the textbooks, because on my first year I didn't really read the textbooks as much as one wanted to, but I learned my lesson when the test came around. With picking the classes, AP classes you would, I would suggest doing what you're interested in. Like, even if you don't want to go in it, it's good to have that credit and background for college, because colleges want to see that. I also would like to tell the teachers to remember what it's like to be a teenager, and emphasize with that, because we know we're not the very best. We're not adults yet, but we're trying. And so when we turn in late, it's because we might have a situation at home, and that goes with it. I also just want to say that these are challenging classes, but it makes you work better. So thank you.
Hi there, my name is Blythe Schaller, and I am a junior at Frontier Academy. With my experience in AP classes, I feel they've raised my self-accountability and initiative. My instructors have been extremely helpful and supportive. However, when speaking to someone looking to earn college credit in high school, I would recommend taking concurrent enrollment classes over AP classes. Concurrent enrollment does not have the risky nature of high-stakes testing. If you do not get a 3 or higher on the test, you have done a year's worth of intense work with no college credit. Concurrent enrollment classes give college credit and experience simply by passing the class. AP classes seem more accessible for high school students as they're easier to identify available classes and register in. Concurrent enrollment accessibility needs improvement as far as the visibility of options and transparency regarding registration process. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mia Rascon, and I'm a junior at Greeley High School, and I'm here to talk about the Avid program. Academically, Avid has brought me lots of successes as my teacher, Mrs. Sanford, always ensures that we do our best as we're striving for college. I have been in Avid since my freshman year, and it has brought to me a lot of knowledge about college that I think I wouldn't have found out on my own. And the entire program has just been very supportive, as like they teach me ways to apply to different scholarships or just ways to be successful and stand out to different colleges. For future students, I would recommend to join Avid. It brings lots of benefits to you and allows you to have a trusting teacher as you're with one teacher for the course of the 4 years. And it brings lots of benefits since like when you're going on to college and looking for someone to write a letter of rec, Mrs. Sanford in my case knows me best over the rest of my teachers since I've had her for 3 years now. I would recommend everyone in general to join, and it is a great program and never too late to join. Thank you for your time, and thank you for having us this evening.
Thank you all. And I just want to say thank you for being here. Of you guys, raise your hand if, or anybody else sitting out there, raise your hand if you have exams tomorrow. Yeah. So I know you guys have other things you could be doing. And so thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate your time and all the work that you put in to the district. And we appreciate hearing your thoughts about what's working and what isn't with Avid and IB and concurrent enrollment and AP. So thank you guys very much. Our next item is our Greely Education Starfish Award. And so I'd like to invite Ms. Andy Lee to the podium to make this presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I have the privilege, I'm super excited to be here tonight because we're celebrating so many amazing students. And I'd like to introduce you to Claudia. Claudia is one of our counselors at Greeley Central, and she is really one of the people behind the scenes. We don't hear a lot about our counselors except, when we're talking about schedules or when things aren't going quite right, we need that extra support. But really, Claudia is the one who shares the information to our students on how to obtain these opportunities that we're giving them, how to fill out the scholarships, how to write an essay for a Betcher Scholarship, of which we have some semi-finalists for. So she's really involved in the day-to-day successes and trials, honestly, of some of our students. But she shows up, she's there, and she is an amazing educator. So when I went to Central that day, I had an opportunity to shadow Claudia. And what I saw was when I came in, she was dealing with several colleagues who were having an issue. She had a student that needed to touch base with her, and she was editing essays. I thought I was good at multitasking, but I am absolutely not in her league. So then we go to a freshman class, and we need to realize that our freshmen, really the last time that they were consistently in what I consider a more normalized environment in school was really probably 7th grade. So our freshmen didn't have some of the typical opportunities that they had of maturing and figuring some of this stuff out because of the pandemic. But Claudia did a great job of doing a Kahoot game. She explained how credits worked. She explained that the grades and the working opportunities that our students get matter. She taught them how to actually be able to do a credit check and to be able to keep track and take ownership of their own graduation progress. All with a smile on her face and engagement from the students. I got to see this done twice because not only was Claudia doing all of this, she was mentoring another counselor on how to do this process. So it was a great opportunity to see the I do, you do, we do opportunity of how to model educating our students and how to model education in general. So Claudia did the primary lead on the first class. Then she handed it over to Pam Hernandez on the second class. And she was able to actually help Pam navigate through a pretty challenging topic. I mean, I don't know how many of you have stood in front of a freshman classroom, but it can be pretty intimidating at times. And yet she does it with grace every day. So anyway, I want to showcase Claudia and all the counselors in our district because they do an amazing job with not enough resources, a huge caseload, and yet they are being so successful. So thank you very much, Claudia. I'm going to let her go. She has a 10-year-old who's having a birthday. That started her pizza party about 40 minutes ago. And she wanted to know where Mama was. Yeah. So as soon as she's done, I apologize for her stepping out immediately, but we aren't running away.
Thank you, Ms. Lee, and thank you, Claudia, for your service and for everything that Andy just said. Again, our counselors don't get enough recognition. You guys are an incredible part of this system and getting kids into the right places, into the right classes, and because you are my son's counselor. I appreciate you specifically, so thank you very much. Next item is our student recognition of a National Gifted and Talented Association Art Award. And so, Dr. Pilch, I'm going to hand this over to you to introduce this award.
Thank you, President Matthews. So the next three items are actually honoring students and staff who have worked with those students because they've either received a national or state level championship or a win. So it's really a big deal. This is a really big deal. It's unheard of in District 6, the students who we have being recognized tonight, and I want to invite Ms. Jody Mueller up to share with you a little bit about these students and a little bit about our winner, Liam Castle.
Thank you very much. Tonight I would like to recognize the 4 students, and 3 of them are here with us tonight. So I would like them to come forward, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. So these students showed the desire and the initiative to participate in this yearly art contest that the Colorado Association for Gifted and Talented offer every year. And every year we really do have students from District 6 who have their artwork selected. But as far as I know, we've never had 4 students from our district have their artwork on display at the national convention. And so I was told down at the convention in November that there were thousands of entries in each category, and there were 3 categories: elementary, middle, and high school. And it really is open to all students in the state. They don't have to be gifted and talented, but our gifted and talented specialists in the district, we really encouraged our students who have a love of the arts to participate, and these 4 students were selected. So 4th grader Liam Castle and 11th graders, and please come forward. And I think Mr. Matthews has the certificates for you, but 4th grader Liam Castle, and he is from Chapelo, and 11th graders Jilly Huang, Akira Williams, and Carol Quiros Avalos. And Carol wasn't able to be with us tonight. She's actually out of the country. They all had their artwork on display at the national convention. It's the National Association for Gifted Children conference that was in Denver in November at the Gaylord of the Rockies. And Gifted educators from across the nation voted each day. So they had the elementary division one day, and then the middle, and then the high. And Liam's artwork was actually selected as the winner in the elementary division. And so I would love for everybody to take a look at it out in our atrium there, because they all did an amazing job. So please help me in celebrating these students for their wonderful accomplishment.
So, Mrs. Mueller,
Yes.
would you please share with us, what is your job in the district? Why do you get to have this cool assignment tonight?
I do have the coolest job in the whole district, I swear I do. I am the gifted and talented facilitator for District 6 halftime, and then I'm also a gifted and talented specialist at 5 schools as well. So I get to work with students who are gifted in all kinds of areas, not just arts. So there are a lot of our students here tonight. So I have a very awesome job. Thank you, Dr. Pilch. And just like Andy, I did promise these families that they could leave once they were recognized, so that they could eat dinner and study for exams and get ready to be at school tomorrow.
Thank you for your leadership, Ms. Mueller.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, students.
Well, congratulations again to our Gifted and Talented Association Art Award winners and those who are recognized. We also have a few more students to recognize. And next students we want to recognize are Northridge JROTC state championships and state champions, in marksmanship. And so Dr. Pilch, I'll give it again to you to introduce this set of students.
Thank you. And I if I understand this correctly, I think that we have not received this honor before. And we're always in there really fighting for this honor, and that maybe it's bad to say took out, but we took out our greatest competitors in order to get this state championship in marksmanship. So, Mr. Osmus, I'm going to let you take it first, and then we'll honor the staff and students.
Thank you. We are truly in the midst of greatness. So we're here tonight to recognize the marksmanship team from Northridge High School. This team is the 2021 JROTC state champions, the 2021 Colorado Junior CMP state champions, and the 2021 Rocky Mountain Regional Cup champions. Wow. And this team has won all top tournaments in the state of Colorado for 2 years consecutively. So this is a very talented group of people. So tonight, come on up, you guys. Come on up, and I'd like to introduce Master Gunnery Sergeant Brian Yorl, who will introduce his team and tell a little bit about this program.
Thank you, Dr. Pilch and the school board members for taking the time out of your busy schedule tonight to recognize the Northridge High School Marine Corps JROTC program. First, let me start off by saying the Marine Corps JROTC program at Northridge High School has been named a Naval Honors Program since 2014. Of the approximate 274 JROTC schools throughout the nation, only 20% of the Marine Corps JROTC programs receive this recognition. This selection is based on several criteria, including cadet citizenship, the percentage of cadets involved in student government organizations, the number of cadets active in school activities and clubs, the number of community service hours for the unit as a whole and per cadet, the number of organizations assisted by the unit, and scholastic achievements, including the number of academic awards and scholarships given to the cadets. The program is also measured by participation in the public affairs events, drill team competitions, physical fitness teams, and the rifle team competitions. Which brings us here tonight, because exceptional talent has been on full display over the past 3 years. Northridge High School's Marine Corps JROTC marksmanship has trained for countless hours, days, weeks, and months to get to this position. And for their hard work, what they're trying to do is just out of those months of training, they just want to demonstrate their grit on the firing line, hoping for tangible evidence of their hard work, meaning scores representing their skills and efforts put into the shooting program. To date, the JROTC marksmanship program not only netted the state championships, but we also netted the national championship last year. We placed 12th in the nation. I do, out of the team, I do have one individual that placed 7th in the nation overall out of tens of thousands of shooters across the United States. So once again, our program is not just going out there and just putting rounds down range. Our shooting program is focused to instill discipline, to get that discipline through those hardships that they may deal with during their lifetime. But once again, Major Kinsley is unable to attend tonight with another meeting, and myself are proud to introduce the JROTC marksmanship team. First one in alphabetical order is Jalissa Antonio on the very end. Then it's Jennifer Castillo Cortez, second here on the end. And then I have Wiley Dickinson, which is the team captain. And then I have Christian Kinsley on the very end. And then I have Jacqueline Vicente Raimundo in the center here. Thank you. If you would like to invest in precious metals, I think we could take some of these metals from them and provide some funding for the school district.
We'll get y'all right over here for a picture. Yeah. Good job, guys.
Very good.
Congratulations.
Congrats again to Northridge JROTC. Next group of students that we want to recognize are our University High School state champion volleyball team. And so, again, Dr. Pelch, I'll give it to you to make the introduction.
Thank you, President Matthews, and I see that our District Athletic Director, Mr. Bob Billings, has come to the podium to take lead on this for us. But ladies, while you're making your way up here, for the coaches, you guys know, a lot of you know, that I was a high school principal for a lot of years, and state championships are few and far between, and I'm just so pleased that we could recognize you all tonight for your state championship and for your volleyball team at University High School.
President Matthews, members of the board, thank you for this opportunity to recognize a great, very, very successful group of young women. As I waited for them to arrive tonight, I had a sneaking suspicion it was going to be a tall group, and I was fairly right. But it is my honor to recognize this 3A girls CHASA State Championship volleyball team from University High School. Their record this year was 25-4, which is impressive in the fact that they only had one loss outside of their league. And they're in a pretty competitive league. So that's kind of true here in Northern Colorado across classifications. Our leagues are somewhat sometimes more difficult than even at the state level competition. So they did extremely well. I believe, coaches and young ladies, you lost one set at the state tournament. That is hard to do. And so congratulations on a great year. Here with us, I'll mention the adults by name and let the young women introduce themselves. But Executive Director Jennifer Weaver is here from University. Thank you, Jennifer, for being here. Unfortunately, Jared Rudiger, their head coach, who I almost taught Jared, so I think that means I'm old, but could not be here tonight. Two of his assistants, Brooke Paxton and Madison Douglas, are also with us. And so with that, I will turn it over quickly here to Jennifer. And again, congratulations to you on an amazing season. Well done.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us tonight and celebrating these amazing ladies. Not only is it very rare in university history, this is a first. So this is our first volleyball state championship. I'm really honored to celebrate these girls not only because they're terrific volleyball players. As a former volleyball coach, I'm not often the shortest one in the room, so yeah. But also because they're amazing student athletes. They absolutely understand that commitment. They're an incredibly talented group of girls. And we're really lucky that they share those talents freely with us. We've got several students that are really involved in our school. Paige is here tonight as our student representative to our school board. And so I appreciate what amazing volleyball players they are, but also what amazing students and people that they are. So thank you for celebrating them tonight. It's a wonderful accomplishment and they're a great group of girls.
My name's Paige Heck. I was a senior this season. I played right side.
Hello, I'm Chloe Martinez, and I was a manager for the team.
Hello, I'm Maylia Parrish, and I was a right side.
Hi, my name is Katie Bauer. I'm a junior, and I played middle.
Hi, my name's Logan Conlon, and I was a outside DS, and I'm a senior.
Hi, my name is Aisha Al-Rashid, and I am a senior and a middle blocker. And I also wanted to say how proud I am of this team. We're an amazing group of young girls, and we're really involved in the community, not just in sports. November 13th, we made history not only for our University Bulldog program, but for District 6 community as well. I'm not sure how many state titles we have as a District 6, but this is first of many to come, and we've set a standard not only for our volleyball program, but for our community as well. And so we'd like to thank you all. Thank you.
Great job, you guys. Good job.
Congratulations again to our University High School state champion volleyball team. Our next item of business are some revisions to our I instruction policies, and this one is an action item that will need a motion.
I move that the Board of Education of Greeley Evans School District 6 approves the revisions to the I instruction policies as presented.
Second.
Thank you both. Dr. Pilch, before we open this up for board members, and there may not be anything to really say, this looks like another one of those where we're cleaning up language, but is there anything to say on this set of policies?
I'll just remind the board that you did the substantial adoption of the new graduation requirements and the new graduation guidelines last October, a year ago, October in 2020. And so then these were just some minor changes and cleanup as we go into the year of students actually meeting these graduation requirements to graduate.
Any questions or comments from board members? Hearing none, Ms. Lemon, will you give us a vote, please?
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Mash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Mueller?
Aye.
Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Pappas?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Lemon. Our next item of business is our Innovation 2030 update, Student Learning and Achievement Focus Area 2. And Dr. Pelch, because this is information, I'm going to hand this over to you.
Thank you, President Matthews. We're excited to bring you an update on Innovation 2030 regarding student learning and achievement with around Avid, advanced placement, and international baccalaureate. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Dattery and her team to take it from here.
Thank you, Superintendent Pilch, President Matthews, and members of the board. It is our pleasure tonight to bring to you this update on Avid, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, and Advanced Placement, AP, as well as International Baccalaureate, or we often refer to as IB. AP and IB are, as you are aware, high-level courses that provide our students with the opportunity to earn college credit while they're still in high school with us. And Avid provides a support system so that students are able to be successful in those high-level classes. So we're going to share some of this information with you tonight, and I am joined tonight by several folks. First, Mr. Brian Lemos. He is our Director of Instruction, and he oversees this program along with other programs in the District of Instruction, as well as Miss Amanda Krieger, and she is our coordinator for these programs of AP, IB, and Avid. Additionally, Miss Krieger is being joined by several of our teachers tonight, and they will be introduced as they come up and share their experiences in these various programs with you this evening. So our work is grounded in our District 6 mission and vision of engaging students in a well-rounded and excellent education, preparing them to be college and career ready. And these are our values, two of which really are those that we adhere to and stand by within the AP and the IB and the Avid work of first knowing that we know every child can achieve. And the second is really about the fact that we promote access, opportunity, and choice for our students. And so those two values, while all of them apply in the work that we do each and every day, are two of those that we really strive to attain within these programs we share with you this evening. And as you know, within Innovation 2030 plan, we have 4 goals. And the work of Avid, AP, and IB stands firmly within the goal of student learning and achievement. Specifically in that of Goal 2, of implement consistent and coherent aligned curriculum, assessment, and instructional practices that are research-based to ensure all students learn. And so I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Krieger as she shares with you first about Avid and then AP and IB. And we'll follow it up with next steps and take any questions you may have. So thank you, Ms. Krieger.
Thank you, Dr. Dattery. And thank you so much, Dr. Pilch, President Matthews, and members of the board for allowing my colleagues and I to come in today and speak to you about these amazing programs. First, I'd like to share with you about Avid, which, as Dr. Dattery said, stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And Avid's mission is really to close the opportunity gap by preparing all students for college readiness and success in a global society. Avid changes lives by providing a framework for students to become self-advocates for their learning. The goal of the Avid program is to prepare students with the skills they will need to follow their chosen career path, be it college, technical school, military, trade school, or other post-secondary training in order to become economically independent, community-minded citizens. Avid is currently implemented in 22 District 6 schools, and the district-wide Avid goal is to increase student collaboration in academic and elective classes across the content areas utilizing the WICR framework. WICR stands for Writing, Inquiry, Collaboration, Organization, and Reading. We want all students to be able to engage in that academic discourse and have that opportunity on a daily basis. Monthly Avid professional learning opportunities are offered throughout the 2021-22 school year to support implementation of Avid methodologies. I would like to share a statement about Avid's impact on Jackson Elementary School from Kayla Nelson, who is the Avid coordinator, co-coordinator and instructional coach at Jackson Elementary, and she was unable to be with us this evening, so these are her words. This year at Jackson, we have taken the leap into being a K-5 Avid Elementary. Bringing Avid to all grade levels has allowed our teachers to easily provide students with consistent and high expectations and routines from classroom to classroom. There is a common language, a common organizational system, and common procedures for routines such as note-taking, marking the text, and collaborating with others. As we continue our K-5 implementation, these consistencies will grow and strengthen from grade level to grade level, allowing Jackson students to know exactly what is expected of them within their educational setting. I believe that this is what will help students succeed in school and within their communities. And now I would like to introduce Stephen Paulson, the Avid coordinator and an AP teacher at Greeley West.
Hi again. So the reason that Avid is such a successful program, whether it's at Greeley West or any school in our district, is because it's truly a support system for students who are primarily first generation, who have no idea what it's like to be a college student. They have no idea what it's like to walk into a college classroom. They never would have taken an AP, IB, concurrent enrollment course. And Avid is really about giving them skills and a background that we're trying to fill gaps in their background that they have. And so I can share with my personal experience, the picture behind you, that's my last Avid class. That's 30 kids who had never intended to go to college. All of them are in college as we speak and got $2.8 million in scholarships. And the average GPA was between a 2.0 and a 3.0. So this isn't an honors program. It's not a fast track college credit program. What it is taking kids that didn't think they could go to college and giving them the skills and the support to become college graduates, not just go to college. So no matter what school you look at, the whole point of this Avid program is creating confidence and skills in kids that didn't know that they could take advantage of an opportunity like a college education because their families were never part of it.
Thank you, Stephen. I'd like to share some Avid data with you. This is the data for our Avid graduates is very encouraging, even though this year we see a slight decline. The data tracks each graduating Avid class, so this data is from 2021 is from the seniors who graduated this past May. The class of 2021 had some unique challenges with their class schedules and with access to college tutors due to the COVID-19 pandemic, both as juniors and as seniors. Now, along with tracking the number of students who complete four-year college requirements, as you can see on this slide, Avid also tracks the type of classes that students take. Avid students are expected to participate in rigorous academic courses, and of the 2021 Avid seniors, 96.4% took at least one AP or IB course, and 43.4% took at least one college or dual enrollment course. Of those 96.4% who took an AP or IB course, 89.2% of them sat for an exam. The class of 2019, who was pre-COVID, had about 86.4% of students who sat for at least one AP or IB exam. So the class of 2021, with all of their unique challenges, was up 2.8% for students who sat for those exams. Our Avid seniors are also encouraged to pursue financial aid opportunities, and 88% of the graduating Avid seniors submitted the FAFSA, the Federal Student Aid Form, with 34% planning to attend a four-year college or university, and 43% planning to attend a two-year college. In addition, 40% of those Avid seniors identified as English learners, which is almost doubled from the class of 2020, where 24% identified as English language learners. Avid provides a support system for students to access classes of high rigor, such as advanced placement or AP courses. AP consists of college-level courses and corresponding exams administered once a year that may qualify students for college credit. Each AP course is modeled on a comparable introductory college course in that subject area. Taking an AP course and sitting for an AP exam helps students to stand out in college applications, as AP courses on students' transcripts show that they have signed up for very rigorous coursework and that they've challenged themselves. And success on an AP exam shows that the students are ready for college coursework in that subject area. Most four-year colleges and universities in the United States grant credit for advanced placement on a qualifying score. In addition, taking AP classes and exams can help students to build skills and confidence by learning time management and essential study skills needed for post-secondary success. AP courses are important to our rigorous high school instructional programming, and this slide lists the 24 AP courses offered in our District 6 comprehensive high schools. We are very grateful to our community for passing an MLO so that we are able to purchase consistent district resources for our AP courses that align with the College Board suite of online supports. Out of the 24 AP courses listed on this slide, AP teachers in 19 of these courses have engaged in district curriculum and resource adoption process, resulting in board approval of updated resources for AP students district-wide. This year, the AP Arts, AP Music, and AP Computer Science teachers are engaging in this process, and they will bring their recommendations forth to our District Curriculum Council and the board this spring. To support our new resources for AP courses, AP teachers are provided with professional development on the online components of the resources and have continuous access to online professional learning through the College Board and AP Central as they utilize both their textbook and the digital platforms. Teachers new to AP are provided with the opportunity to attend AP Summer Institute in their respective content areas, to learn strategies for teaching AP from veteran AP teachers, and to learn how to prepare students for the format and content of the AP tests. I would like to introduce to you Emily Wallin, an AP teacher from Northridge, to talk about her AP experience and the impact of AP courses.
Hello. I've been teaching AP for 15 years now, and I came from a district that you had to apply to get into an AP class, and all they really cared about were test scores. So it was very refreshing to come to District 6 where students came first, and I can ask students to join my AP class, and they may never receive more than a 1 on their exam, but I have watched them become more confident readers and writers and critical thinkers, which is the best part, I think, about AP.
Thank you, Emily. Tom Fraser, the AP instructional lead at Greeley Central, also wanted to share about the impact of AP, and he was ill today, so I'm going to be sharing his words as well. Tom said, "Although I always appreciate the opportunity to celebrate the students at Greeley Central who lead the district in their numbers representing AP scholars, I wanted to focus on something different tonight. I have long felt and relayed to our teachers as we work to implement our district's equity policy, a policy that I am proud to support, that the AP program probably benefits the students who do not earn qualifying scores more than it benefits our highest scholars. The College Board's latest research confirms what I have seen as a college instructor for more than 20 years. AP classes prepare all students to perform better in the post-secondary world. We should continue to encourage all of our students to take AP courses." So I would also like to share some data around our AP scholars. Many of our AP students take multiple AP courses and pass multiple AP exams throughout their high school years. This slide shows the longitudinal data of the District 6 Comprehensive High School AP scholars. So based on the 2021 AP exam results from our comprehensive high schools, the blue bar represents the 34 students who were awarded the AP Scholar designation for receiving a score of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. Second, the red bar represents the AP Scholars with Honors designation, which was awarded to 10 students who earned an average score of at least 3.25 on all AP exams taken and scores of 3 or higher on 4 or more AP exams. Additionally, the yellow bar represents the 17 students who received the AP Scholars with Distinction designation for earning an average score of at least 3.5 on all AP exams taken and scores of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams.
The number of AP scholars has remained fairly consistent since 2015, with a slight dip over the past couple of years. In order to meet safety guidelines and cohort requirements during the COVID-19 pandemic, schedules were adjusted to a quarter system with students completing a year's worth of AP curriculum in 2 quarters or 1 semester. Again, as we are back to regular scheduling, we anticipate that our number of AP scholars will again be on the rise. In addition to our AP scholars, the blue bar on this slide represents 11 students who earned an AP seminar and AP research certificate for earning scores of 3 or higher in both AP seminar and AP research. And 2 students, represented by the red bar, earned the AP capstone diploma for earning a score of 3 or higher in AP seminar and AP research, and on 4 additional AP exams of the student's choosing. Finally, we are fortunate to have a comprehensive international baccalaureate program in District 6. This is comprised of 3 programs: the primary years program at Dos Rios Elementary School, the middle years program in 6th through 8th grade at Brentwood Middle School, the middle years program in 9th and 10th, and the diploma program in 11th and 12th grade at Greeley West High School. The aim of the IB program is to develop internationally minded people. The primary years program helps students to start their lifelong journey as caring and culturally aware learners who are active participants in their own learning. The middle years program builds a solid academic foundation by developing students' confidence in managing their own learning and making connections between what they learn in the classroom and the real world. When students reach the diploma program, they strengthen an inquiring mindset and prepare to excel at a career and to lead a meaningful life. The 3 IB schools continue to engage in vertical alignment to provide a clear transition from the PYP to the MYP to the DP program. They also continue to work together to increase awareness for students and parents of the opportunity to follow the IB pathway along the grade levels, and then to encourage the enrollment into the diploma program at Greeley West by students either taking individual diploma program classes or enrolling in the full IB diploma program. So I would like to introduce to you Bridget Kaler, the DP coordinator from Greeley West, to share the impact of an IB education.
Hi, hello. So this is my 7th year in the DP program, my 2nd year in D6. The DP program actually attracted me to D6 when I was moving back stateside. The notes that I wrote here, it's actually funny because Jilly hit most of my talking points, so it's good that what we think we're putting out there, the students are also like, yeah, that's what we're getting. So the IB program is really not about the singular classes, and it's not just about the college credit. It's really about working the program. And through it, the students are asked to see the world through complex systems and to see themselves as part of those complex systems. They're asked to learn skills necessary in not just a 21st century world, but also a globalized 21st century world. And to be able to kind of navigate and make sense of the things that they'll encounter while they are, navigating this world that we are about to put them into. They're asked to use their senses to apply information, to question and to solidify beliefs, opinions, data, and even navigate digital platforms, which is so much a part of their lives today. The IB asks them really to analyze and metacognate over memorize. There's a lot of reflection. And really what they are asked to do is to become more aware of the values and limitations of knowledge and information they are using to make decisions as they enter the world and navigate the world once again. Finally, they are taught tools to interact with others, be it discussion, debate, advocacy, or teamwork. The IB sees students as a collaborative learning community, and they are treated as such, and we aim to foster that in the schools. And then finally, IB opens the door for students, for them to, go and study and travel abroad, or, once again, interact with people who are from different backgrounds and cultures. To understand cultural proficiency, and ultimately it prepares them to enter colleges and careers that are globalized in 21st century. How many times have I used globalized in 21st century? A lot, but that's what it is.
Thank you, Bridget.
As we look to increase the enrollment in the full IB Diploma program, we would like to celebrate that the class of 2021 had the highest IB Diploma recipient rate in 8 years, with 86% of Greeley West candidates earning that diploma. And I would like to give them a hand. That's awesome. The international diploma candidate pass rate for 2021 in 153 countries and 3,873 schools was 88.95%, again, in comparison to our 86% pass rate. That's international, not just national. In addition to the IB Diploma recipients, 2 students passed at least 3 IB exams, earning 9 or more college credits each. Greeley West had a total of 75 students who took at least 1 IB exam this year, with a total of 164 exams completed. Overall, the IB students at Greeley West earned 459 college credits in 2021.
Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate you sharing the update, but more importantly, I really appreciate her leadership as she's led these programs. And I also want to thank Stephen, Emily, and Bridget for being here tonight, and also for your service to District 6 and meeting the needs of our students. So thank you very much for sharing your experiences. The following 2 slides, I'll be giving you an update on the programs that you just heard about, Avid, the IB program, and the AP programs. And this first slide is going to pertain to Avid. The following next steps are actions recommended by our team to continue to build the Avid program and provide opportunities for our students. We want to, in order to do that, we feel it's important that we provide 2 classes, 2 elective classes in Avid, and per each grade level at the secondary level, and in particular 6 through 12 grades. We also think it's important to take advantage of our transition process that happens during the spring each year. And during that time, we get the opportunity to transition students from elementary to middle school and middle school to high school. And so we're really going to identify students in the 6th grade and the 9th grade that might be great candidates to take advantage of the opportunities that we offer. The second thing that we want to do is we want to provide Avid summer professional learning opportunities for our educators. As we know, educators are the framework of what makes it happen. And so we are fortunate to be able to offer these in-district trainings, and also to provide these trainings with national Avid trainers to support our teachers and, more importantly, our administrators, so they understand as well. We also want to continue providing opportunity for educators to attend Avid Summer Institute to deepen their knowledge around Avid strategies and the methodologies that Avid provides. And lastly, we know that it's important to increase the number of grade levels implementing Avid in elementary and K-8 schools. As Avid elementary and K-8 schools incorporate Avid strategies across grade levels, they have the opportunity to send additional educators to summer training and increase the number of students positively impacted by the Avid strategies. The next slide has to do with our next steps with advanced placement in the IB program. The following steps are actions recommended by our team. It's to increase enrollment in advanced programming and provide rigorous academic opportunities for all students. The first bullet has to do with increasing enrollment in AP and IB courses for all students, which in particular we're targeting students that are identified as English language learners and students that are receiving special education services. The second bullet step that I wanted to share with you is to increase enrollment in the IB Diploma program at Greeley West. A couple immediate steps we'll do, and we encourage students to take a diploma course in every or in the area of their choice. So right now we want to make sure that they see that as a singleton, and they can take one class in the IB program or the DP program if they choose to, and they don't have to take the full diploma track. We also want to make sure that we're collaborating with the programs that were discussed earlier, our PYP program and the MYP program, and really have alignment throughout the system. And as a reminder, our 2 schools that are the PYP program is Dos Rios, and the middle school program is Brentwood Middle School. And we've been doing a lot of work there and having a lot of great discussions with that alignment and how to really make sure that there's a lot of collaboration, there's cohesiveness throughout the system. And then the third item is to decrease the gender gap in advanced courses. The distribution of students in advanced courses is not yet balanced in terms of gender, and we want to make sure that all students know what advanced courses are available to them and encourage students to enroll in advanced courses that align with their interests and their pathways. And lastly, we want to continue AP curriculum adoption cycles. And this year, AP Arts, AP Music, and AP Computer Sciences are all engaging in the district curriculum adoption process. So again, thank you, and we will thank you for your time this evening, and we're happy to take any questions or comments you may have at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Lemos. I do believe we have a few questions coming your way, and so I think Ms. Mueller is first.
So first of all, as a first-generation student myself, I want to applaud your efforts with the Avid students. That is tremendous work that I am so fortunate to continue on in the college arena. In fact, Mr. Paulson, I believe you had one of my students as your practicum student this semester. So I want to thank you for your work there. I do also want to say, as a parent of two former IB students, I continue to applaud the work you're doing in IB and AP programming. I agree with you. Access for everyone to AP classes is essential. And I do think that that is one of the best things our district does. I do have a question about your AP Scholars and the numbers that you had. AP Scholars, as I understand, is based on testing data. And as I recall, in 2020, there was a lot of problems with AP testing. Am I correct there? Especially with access to online testing situations.
There were definitely some challenges that we had not had before. It was the first time AP had done their tests all online, and it was a 45-minute online test, as opposed to a 3 to 4 hour paper test with both multiple choice and free response questions.
So when we look at these numbers, I think that's important to note. This was not about the students and their inability to accomplish everything that they had prepared for. It had everything to do with the pandemic creating technological challenges. Am I correct there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. And so what I just want to say is that I want to applaud the numbers. I mean, truly, to have 2 pandemic years, let's be honest, 2 pandemic years in which students are doing testing in ways they're not accustomed to. You are trying to navigate testing in ways that nobody was accustomed to. The AP system went down, as I recall. And so there were multiple challenges there. And along with IB, it's truly astronomical that 12 people got the IB diploma. It is a very, very hard diploma to get. And as much as my students, my 2 sons came away with great experience, their favorite thing, I'm just gonna honestly say, is theory of knowledge. And the extended essay is also super important. They got a lot out of that. Neither one of them did get the IB diploma because it's just that hard. And so I applaud you in all your work this year. And I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you, Ms. Mueller. Any other questions or comments from board members? Ms. Mesh.
I just really appreciate hearing from the teachers who are teaching in these programs, the personal stories of how it has worked for your students, what you've seen in your previous districts as well. Just that helps to really create the whole picture and see what kind of results you're getting, what kind of students you're working with. And so I appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Mesh. Any other questions, comments from board members? Dr. Pilch, I have a few, and really just, I'm going to try to start directing my questions to you, try to get disciplined to do that. But one is the gender gap that was mentioned. And I think when people see that, they would guess that gender gap is, there are a lot of boys taking AP and IB and Avid classes, and we're trying to catch the girls up. But that's not really the case, if I remember correctly.
So what do you remember correctly, President?
I was thinking that we actually had probably 2 to 1 girls in all of those programs. Is that, maybe I should direct it?
No, I think that has historically been the case. So I'll turn to staff to clarify.
And I'll love just to know, what kind of progress or how do you, because that is the case, that changes what you do perhaps, and what do we do to close that gender gap?
So you are correct. We do have a higher percentage of girls taking AP classes than boys right at the moment. except for the upper level math and science courses, which are slightly higher male to female ratio. So what we're doing is reaching out to students, AP teachers, IB teachers are reaching out to students and recruiting students into classes, and I mean that in a good way, as in telling students what they are capable of, and they're working with our Avid coordinators and buildings for that support system as well. I know that our high schools at any natural gap, so a semester gap, when they see a student maybe struggling in an AP or IB class, will reach out to the Avid coordinators and give that student the opportunity to have a support system in place. Students who are interested in a certain subject area, I know that our AP teachers are talking to our Avid teachers about how we can provide the proper support so that that student feels confident to be successful in that higher level course that maybe before they didn't think about taking because they didn't think they were ready, but really encouraging students and putting them in a place to be successful in those courses.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda.
Appreciate that. Other question I had was just regarding National AP Scholar. And that's, you see that it's, we went from like, we're steady at like 4, 4, 4, and then it zeros this year. But that's because they no longer give that award, correct?
I believe they still do give that award. We just did not this year have a student who received that.
Okay. Those are all the questions I have, Dr. Pilch.
Thank you.
Thanks, team.
Thank you, guys. Sorry. Our next item of business is another update, and this one is a bond update. And so, Dr. Pilch, again, I will hand this to you and I see Mr. Henson coming forward to make a presentation.
Thank you, President Matthews, and I will just say at the start of this, this will be a lengthy presentation. If you've looked at it, you see there's a lot of slides there, but it's mostly pictures. But this is your mid-year update on the bond, the big update on all of this significant work that has occurred. I thank you for sticking with us tonight. I know it's a little bit longer agenda than typical, but we only have one board meeting this month, so that's part of us getting everything in front of you that we needed to before the close of the semester. So with that, I'm happy to pass this over to Mr. Kent Henson, Assistant Superintendent of Support Services, to tell us about all things that have been happening with the bond.
Okay, Dr. Pilch, President Matthews, School Board, I'm happy to be here today. I heard this earlier today, but I got to tell you, I have the coolest job in the district. So I oversee transportation, IT, custodial facilities, and all the bond projects. And this is basically your 25-month update. So it's been just 25 months by a couple days since the bond passed, and I'd like to give you an update as to where we are. So I do believe in pictures instead of words. So as you're viewing your screen, I will give you a little bit of backfill in the back, but I hope you can appreciate the breadth of work that we've done in buildings, and I'll give you a little bit of progress. So first, again, since 2019, our bond, 25 months later, this is my starting point with all contractors and architects that we bring on board. In 2017, we had a facility master planning team made of community members and school district people that met and really decided what we wanted our facilities to look like in the future. So meeting one, this is what I show them. This is our expectation. Make sure you design and we build within this box. So a lot of the things that you see in there, integrated learning, flexible learning spaces. Tonight you've already seen pictures of AP, IB, Avid, not to mention we didn't talk about STEAM, STEM, career and technical education. All of those special programs that we have in our buildings need special spaces to be taught so that students have the maximum learning potential. So this really, although this looks the same, in each building it can take on a little different sense depending on the specific program in that building. So our major projects, going back to the bond, by the summer of 2025, every one of our buildings will have been touched. And it will have been touched with security upgrades, carpet upgrades, paint upgrades, any career and college readiness, which is kind of up to the building to decide based on their programming, and any major HVAC or roofing updates that they were due for. And so that's only in a couple years away, and we will have been through every single building. A lot of our buildings, we started off calling them summer slammers because we like to start in May and get them done by August. With supply chains now, yeah, we're pretty close to that. We're finding we have to keep starting earlier and earlier. So we're already talking about 2 summers out in terms of our planning for those jobs. But we're doing a pretty good job of working with the principals and keeping this on track. So just to go back, phase 1 was the first summer out of the box, bond passed. Hey, we're doing these 2 schools with upgrades. I can't remember why we chose them, but we did. And we were happy to start out with Martinez and Jackson Elementary. If you want to know what $1 million looks like, there's $1 million roof right there. We got a BEST grant for that, so we only had to pay 55% of that. The other was matched by the state, so that was a big boom for Martinez, keeping that. And then also in the learning spaces, like we talked about, safe and security, paint and carpet. Some of the carpet in our buildings is 30, 40 years old. Or the paint hasn't been upgraded in 20 years. So here's an example of Martinez Elementary, kind of after we had gone through there for a summer. It looks pretty nice. In terms of career and college readiness, this is a smart lab. So we renovated this space, so this lab, which is we contribute, or is contributed by a donation from the Success Foundation and MLO money. And that's the computer pieces that you see in this room. But we use career and college readiness up to the building to do the rest of the design in that building. Also, because this is a STEM school and they do a lot of outdoor education, we extended their STEM dollars, or career and college readiness dollars, to connect the inside and the outside. So you can see this bifold door that bifolds to the outside. That used to be a closet that we blew out a wall, so we have good access to the outside, and then put in, the building had these plans for outdoor learning classrooms and lab spaces that are a part of their STEM curriculum at their school. And then safe and secure vestibules. This was kind of complicated for these 2 schools. You know, the idea is once school starts, all doors are locked. You have to buzz, state your business to get into the vestibule. Once you're in the vestibule, you can't get in the office or in the building until someone figures out what you need. So both of these 2 buildings, we had funky arrangements of classrooms up front. So we kind of had to create an in and an out, but it works. It actually works pretty well with the traffic flow here. And so you'll see this consistently. We're consistent in the materials we use. We use high-grade materials for our safe and secure entries, but they're all going to work just a little bit different on the inside. And so that was Martinez after summer 1. And then we moved on to Jackson Elementary at the same time. And so I have here principal, Ingrid DeLay. And so this picture shows you before. This is the before. Day after kids are in that school, we had to abate the whole school before we could do everything. So take a look at the picture on the right. Does that look like a great learning space for kids? It's kind of horrible. Ingrid?
Nice.
After a little bit of carpet and paint, why don't you explain a little bit how your learning environments affected your kids and staff?
Sure. Well, we had the pleasure of packing up the entire building during the pandemic and getting everything moved away so that we could receive the new paint, the new carpet, the new furniture. It was just the uplift that we needed. It has brought our building into the 21st century, I believe, especially with the addition, thank you, Success Foundation, of our Smart Lab and MLO, of course. And so, plus the safe and secure entryway, that's our STEM lab. This is our safe entryway, which has really been a positive addition to help students and staff feel safe and secure in the building. Also, all new door hardware, which just adds another piece of safety for our staff and students.
Okay, thank you, Ingrid. And so Ingrid talked about bringing our facilities up to 2021. Really, by doing that, we're preparing our students, somebody said earlier, really to be career, workforce, and college ready for 2025, 2030, 2035, 2040, and beyond. So that's kind of an important note, I think. Then phase 2 was this summer, where we got a little more ambitious and tackled 4 schools, 4 buildings. So some of this will be a little bit repetitious. I'll go quickly. But in each one of these buildings, we're affecting 500 to 600 students. And so Dos Rios Elementary had a new safe and secure entry. Here you get a picture down the hallway again, paint and carpet can do to a building that hasn't had it. Also on the right, the sink. We had sinks where there's water, obviously, but the countertops are made of wood. We're not designing buildings like that. We're designing buildings to last, and our new ones, 100 years. Our remodels, a lot longer than a lot of the buildings we have. So that's actually quite a good replacement for that building. The gym floor, that gym floor was carpet. It was 40 years old. It's been sweat on a lot of gum, a lot of other stuff, who knows what. But they have a new gym floor in that building. So that's that looks totally different, that space. And then also in terms of HVAC, they got a new chiller and a cooler in that building. Here's their smart lab update. So we renovated their library. So typically, library space is given up, books are consolidated more to one end, and then this was renovated for their smart lab. I was in there today, it was awesome. This is the other part of the smart lab there, and then here's a general classroom. What you can't see in the back left corner there is a vertical univent. In this school, the air conditioning and heating was horrible. It was one of a kind in our district. It was piecemealed together, so we blew it all up, put in extra money because we were in there to make that right for this building. So that's working quite well. And then we also did Hyman at the same time. You can see safe and secure entry, similar materials in the hallway. Also the cafeteria. Our cafeterias used to have a tile floor, which meant we had to wax them, scrub them, buff them. We tore all those up. A lot of those were peeling up, and we put down a vinyl material that can be cleaned very, very easily and very, very quickly, which is much better for our maintenance staff. And then also here's their bathroom upgrade, the sinks. That's kind of huge. And then again, smart lab on the left, and then their media center on the right. You can see the smart lab in the background. But their large media center, they wanted to have a multi-purpose space where they could bring people in, they could bring in activities, they could put their kids in small groups, they could bring classrooms in. So if you look at the floor, we did a polished concrete floor instead of carpet because they wanted something that was versatile and would last, and we could do a lot of different things on it. And then here's an example of their classroom. Again, learning environment. At the same time, this summer, we're doing Winograd K-8, same thing at the front entry, safe and secure entry. Here's some of the same pictures, different school. A lot of work on 4 different sites this summer. There's the classroom, and there's the old sinks again. We had wooden sinks, wooden counters near water. Not anymore. Okay, and then here's their learning environment. They elected to keep more of an emphasis on the library. The smart lab is in the back right corner there. We actually opened that up with that glass wall that used to be walled off with concrete. So now it is accessible and can be seen. There's their smart lab. And in addition, on the right, they wanted a TV studio. And so we renovated that room with that equipment as part of their college readiness to bring in a TV studio. Then at the same time, the last school this summer was Bella Romero Academy 4-8. And I have the principal here, Ashley Aragon, who can kind of tell us a little bit about what they went through.
Oh, thank you.
Use the technology.
I love it. Yes, it was great to have new carpet, new paint. It just really brought a new feel to the building. Loved walking into the building with that smell of fresh carpet and fresh paint. And you can begin to see some of the furniture that's in the classrooms, which is very flexible seating. So it was great that teachers got to choose what type of desks, what type of seating would best fit the different ages of students.
And how'd your kids feel when they came back this fall?
The kids love it. In fact, we've had some of our 8th graders who are now in high school come back, and they keep saying, why was this done when we left? And so they love it, and they just are having a lot of fun with the new furniture. Cafeteria, again, love the new floor. We also use our cafeteria as our wrestling room for practice, and so the custodial staff is excited that it's a much easier floor to clean, and hopefully will stay nicer. Love the sink. Students used to leave water on unintentionally, and now it's automatic, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. This is our, was a library. We turned it into what we call the Learning Lab, so it's a flexible use space. One of the uses is for our lifetime and leisure class, so we're able to quickly move furniture. We also use it for professional development. After-school program uses it for snack as well as for a violin class. So many different uses for this space. And then our smart lab, students love the smart lab. It has really brought science technology to the forefront. Students have done things such as coding, use a 3D printer. They've built bridges and robots all in one semester. And so it's exciting to see what they get to do, not only throughout the year, but throughout their career at the 4-H campus.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. Do you have any questions for either Ingrid or Ashley before we move on? Okay, thank you. So those are the first 2 summers. And then at the same time, as you know, we had major projects going on, major builds, additions, and renovations. And so the first one that we'll talk about is Kristen McAuliffe STEM Academy, which is receiving an addition and a renovation. And I get asked this all the time, how many kids are you going to have in there now? It's the same number that were there, okay? It's about 900, same number. So we're just right-sizing that school. We got, sorry, was that a little too loud? We got rid of 4 classrooms last spring. We're going to get rid of 12 more portable classrooms here next month. And so this is really right-siding this building. It opens in January 3rd. It will eliminate 16 temporary classrooms. And so really, the reason I show you this picture is before we could build an addition, we had a problem in this neighborhood with parking in the cul-de-sacs and traffic. And so we had to get with the city of Greeley and get their okay on our parking and retention of cars on site plan, not to mention stormwater, before we could figure out where to put the rest of the building. So that took a lot of work up front, but we got that figured out. This is kind of, pardon my scribbles, but you can see the new orange lines for traffic. There are 4 lines for pickup and drop off. How many cars will those hold? Jeff Peterson, principal of McAuliffe?
68.
68 cars will be held in there that won't be in the neighborhood. Not to mention we have that additional parking spaces. How many parking spaces are out there, Jeff?
We'll have over 90.
Over 90. And so in addition, they're keeping their other parking. We should not have a problem with that neighborhood. So that's a big plus. And then within the green, you can see the areas of the addition. The one to the left, the smaller one, are 2 kindergarten classrooms. So now we have all 4 of our kindergartens in the same end of the building. And then the other one in green is the addition, which will be a 2-story addition there, which will house 5th through 8th grade buildings or classes. And then the one in the kind of the blue is the existing building, which we renovated to bring it up to speed with the new addition. So we did UV lights. We did the ventilators, carpet, paint, etc. So here's the why at McAuliffe. There's 3 grade levels of kids. This was last week. Can you see where they play? It's in the back. It's in the back up by the fence. I mean, you can't see it. There's not a lot of space there. So this is 3 grade levels of kids that have been on this campus. So we're right-sizing the campus. Those kids are going to move into brick here in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And this is inside the front door. So as I mentioned, this opens really January 3rd, putting a lot of finishing touches on the new end. This is a STEM academy. That is a STEM lab right inside the front door. So it's a 2-story, it's open. Kids can create drones, fly rockets, do whatever they want in there. It's got a high ceiling. 5th and 6th grade will be on the bottom floor, 7th and 8th at the top. Jeff, you want to say anything about? Let's talk about this. This is your renovation. So here's some pictures of renovating the existing building. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to thank you. This is such an important milestone in our journey to become a K-8. It has been so exciting. So a current 7th grader at my school will have actually left the brick and mortar building and been in temporary classrooms since 2nd grade. And so it's so excited to bring all of them back into the building and have all of us, one big family again, all back in the school together. So what's been amazing about this is to be able to add on to our school, to right size and get rid of those temporary buildings, but also, as Kent has said, with the other buildings, and you can see with these pictures here, to be able to renovate and bring our 30-plus-year-old building up to speed, so all of our buildings will flow together and all kids will have great experiences together. So we did that throughout our hallways and in all of our existing classrooms. We were also able to renovate our existing library, what it used to be, which kind of expanded into a makerspace. And then we were able to get our smart lab thanks to MLO and to the Success Foundation, but we were just packing more things in. So we were also able to right size that and really create a great learning environment for our students in there. And then when we designed our addition, we were also able to replicate that so all of our kids in all grades will have space to have those experiences. Oh, this one's another exciting one too. So as we expanded out to K-8, we added middle school sports, and we had to travel. So we were able to thankfully borrow Maplewood's gym, and we want to thank Maplewood for all the years that they hosted us there. But we finally had our own basketball games at our own school this year. It's been a great opportunity, not only for our athletes to be able to compete and have our own home court, but it was so much fun to have our students be able to come and watch their peers and support their peers and have that experience and learn that. So this is also a very fun part for us.
Yeah, so that was one advantage of McCullough. They never had a competition-sized gym for their kids, and so we added that on to this site. And then these are the new classrooms. This is actually last week. These are outdated. So in the middle, between the whiteboards, there is a flat screen, smart TV. I saw a teacher working on those today. They're awesome in a different school. So they're actually putting furniture in these classrooms today. So in the new addition, that's really exciting. We're about ready to go. Here, this is again just up on the 2nd floor, looking down the halls. A little bit of cleanup to do, and then this is looking down in that STEM lab to the right. And anything else you want to say? I will say Jeff has worked, and his staff for a year and a half have worked in an occupied site with construction going on around them at least 3/4 of the way, sometimes 100. In order to get the classes renovated, we did 2 classroom phasing, which means he found a place to stick 2 classrooms. We went in, renovated, then went 2 more. We did that for this fall, and we did it last spring, so we could get all that done last summer. His staff has done a great job. The kids have been awesome. And we're really looking forward to handing this over January 3rd. They'll have the building, and by the end of January, all those portables will be gone.
I know this has been said before, but I can't say it enough. I want to thank the voters of Greeley and Evans for their support. We could not have done this without you, and my kids are so excited, and the opportunities that they're going to have wouldn't have happened without your support. So I just want to say thank you for that again.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, and then also going on, also opens in August of 22 is Greeley West High School. This is again, this is built for the capacity at which it's at. It's built for 1,800 kids. Right now there's 1,700 and right at about 1,700 kids in that building. So we're right sizing the building and getting rid of 19 temporary classrooms in that. And so this one here, Jeff, why don't you come up? So I have the principal, Jeff Cranston, here. And he also has been working around construction for now 2 years. And so his staff has done a great job. Even though most of the work has been to the west, it has involved him. His building has been on life support all year. This was the right time to replace that school because we almost lost it with some rotten electrical feeds into the building, 9 foot below the ground. And if we didn't have this project ongoing at the same time, we wouldn't have been able to fix it for 2 or 3 weeks. So actually we brought in a generator, powered the old school, and we're able to get that temporary fix. But that building is really not for long.
The building knows it's coming down, so it's fighting back here.
It's fighting back. But we're going to get rid of it anyway. So here's a picture just a lot of the pictures here, there's so much going on in here that, this is a site picture, and it'll just go like this. So here's your alphabet. This won't mean anything to you, but for us, this is kind of how the building was laid out and built in phases. They started to the south, kind of in I, H, and J. Then they jumped to D, came back to E, then went to A and B. And the reason they did that is they had to phase it because of availability of types of steel. And so they figured that out right away. So if you're out there, you saw the cranes moving all over, it's because they were trying to use the materials they could get when they could get it and get it up. And so they did a great job with that. In addition, Jeff, in March, we have to start tearing down the old building. So in March, we are going to have temporary occupancy of basically everything kind of E-ish to J-ish. We are going to have students in that end of the building, which are the career and technical education classrooms and the gyms. Not anything to the north, but to the south or to the right. And that way we can start tearing down those buildings in March, because we have an opening date in August of next year. Anything you want to say about that?
It's a headache, but bring it
It's
on.
a good headache.
This is my 19th year at Greeley West, and as a teacher, as a coach, as an advisor, as an athletic director, having to apologize for our facilities for so long. Bring on the headaches. I do have to say also our neighbors, Generations Church, Fort Morgan State Bank, all of our neighbors have been great in lending us parking lot space, and we're causing some headaches there, but trying to be good neighbors. So thank you for your patience, Greeley West neighborhood, and we're excited for this new building.
Yeah, I will say also that getting temporary occupancy like this is not normal. So we have had a great relationship with the city of Greeley on all these projects, and their willingness to look at this as a whole project, see the demolition side, see our need to move kids out of things before we tear them down, and allow us to use this one end of the building has been really, really awesome. And then you want to explain here, this is the north end of the building, what kind of classes will be in this end?
That's our academic wing. So it's 2 stories, and on the left side is our English and social studies classes. And then on the column B there, the 2 stories is science on the top and math on the bottom. And then our world languages and special education classrooms are there right up against the gym. They're about 10 feet away from the entrance of the gym right there.
The theater?
And the theater is that third box, section C there, and you've got a 650-seat auditorium that looks incredible. And around that is a video production room, band, choir, piano, beginning guitar classrooms. State-of-the-art, first class all around. So excited to show that off to you, to the community, and to all of Colorado as they come and use our facilities.
So again, going back to our vision for facilities, trying to be forward-thinking, building facilities that we can be flexible on the inside. We know this is what we need them to do right now, but when those things change in the future, that we have a facility that can adapt with that. And then this is just showing the other end. The big Ys there in the middle are the new hub, the new cafeteria, and then working to the right is the gym and the aux gym. And then to the far right are our current technical education wing. So that's where the ag sciences are, the animal sciences, the horticulture classes, and the building trades classes and arts classes are all on that end. This is a view you don't get to see right now because it's blocked, but this is the front entrance of the school, and you can see how close we are. So you talk about an occupied site, kids 20 feet away from excavators and things like that. We haven't lost anybody, have we?
We just roll with it.
No, we just keep going. So you can see we actually built through and had to tear down part of this building last January in order for us to get this in, but it's gone extremely well. Here's an aerial view. What you see there on the right, that big black roof that is just horrible to maintain. In all those outbuildings there, those all start coming down in March. The theater's doing their last production in March. And then we might start touching that the day after school. The power goes out on that building. We have a little bit of abatement that is to be done, and then that'll be torn down. We have to fill a hole. That's our parking lot. So it's got to go. And so everything's backed up to that August 3rd date or whatever, the first day of school, for us to be in here. Anything else, Jeff? Here's some finishes. Here are the career and technical education spaces on the left. This is ag science, so there's welding bays there. Mr. Bentley, I hear you may need some welders. There's some welding bays there so that we don't just have 1 or 2 kids on a welding machine. We actually can have several kids working on projects at the same time. The classroom on the right is an animal science class that goes with the ag department. And then here you can see some of the finishes on the left. Finishes, this is actually in the south end, which we're going to get into first. And then that on the right, that's a science lab way on the north end of the building. So there's cabinets going into there. And then this is...
that's the cafeteria. It's nice. We only have about 300 seats now for 1,700 kids. We'll be able to have 500 seated inside and an additional 500 seats outside on that patio when it's nice. And so we can stay on campus and get back to learning quickly.
Not to mention in the upstairs there, kids can go. There's a big learning social stairs to the right they can sit at. So I don't know why kids would want to go to King Soopers. I have no idea. We're staying right there. Okay, and then this is just the last site. Building of the site, I mean, there's Greeley West. It's been there for quite a while, served its purpose, but it's got this new one ready to get hatched right behind it, and we are ready to do it. So next fall.
Great. It's right there in the center of the city. We're excited to have you all there and showcase the community.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, and then also, we're working on Chapel K8 Arts Magnet. So this is a little bit like McAuliffe. We're building it so it can take on a few more kids, up to 750. We're doing an addition. Being an arts magnet school, it virtually has no performing arts facilities. So dance class is out in a portable classroom. I always say this, go out in a trailer and dance with 30 kids and see what happens, So, we're gonna have in the addition here, a performing arts center that's a flexible space. We're gonna have a choir room, music room, a dance studio for these kids, plus some additional classrooms that we need to get rid of the 8 temporary portables that we have on there. This is also gonna open in August of 2022. You can see the main addition is actually gonna be this orangey stuff over to the left. The big box that you see is the Performing Arts Center. It will have retractable theater seating so that during a play they could be brought out and that room can be closed. But if I want to do a dance or if I want to have a visual arts display of something, I can pull those in, open it up, and make it a different kind of space. This is not going to be a green building. I get asked this all the time. There's going to be block laid outside of that here pretty shortly. It will not be lime green, I can assure you. But this is the addition out to the west side. Now I have the principal, Christopher Kiefer, here, who has also had the luxury of working on a construction zone because we did have to, beginning this fall, do phased construction as we did the renovation in his classrooms. And part of the problem he's had is that now some of our materials aren't in sync. So some of it comes, but we haven't got the lights yet. So then do we move down the next section and come back and do the lights? So he's been doing a great job with that. Thank you very
I got a
much.
little more gray hair too.
But we're getting through that. And this is a picture, I'm showing these two pictures. Right now there's more studs on the inside and you kind of lose the effect. But that picture on the right, that's the stage. That's me looking at the performing stage. Right now they don't have that.
So that's a 45-foot ceiling too. So that you envision that. First, before I start, I just want to say thanks again to the voters in Greeley and Evans, the governing board, and all the support because to make this happen. It's a game changer for our community. If you've been to any of our plays or activities that are building, they are fantastic. And this is going to allow us to do the next level to become the art magnet school in Northern Colorado. So that ceiling is about 45 feet tall. That's the stage you see there into the back. And then on the left, there are classroom spaces. So like Ken had said, there'll be pretty much a middle school wing now, which will be totally awesome. And then all the other facilities will wrap around it. Dance, orchestra, band, drama, and outdoor theater space as well. And
So-
great learning spaces.
Yeah, sorry. So just, they could have used a new gym, but they don't need a new gym. They need performing arts space. So we invested in the program for the school at this building, which is different than the program of the school at McCullough. This is not a good picture, but this is a renovated classroom during Thanksgiving. Group was in there, ran in there, took a quick picture. It's got a lot to be cleaned up and put the base in. Kids were in there a day later than that picture.
Every 2.5 weeks, we flip 2 classrooms. So we're taking 2 classrooms, moving those 2 classrooms into the library, which has been split in half. Over the summer, I got a call saying, hey, we're taking away all your library books. It was like, awesome. So they're all packed up in the back, but we worked with Evans library system, so we have a rotation of library books coming through our building to continue that process going on for our kids. So every 2 weeks, new carpet, new paint. There's a new air conditioning system in there as well. So the building is completely getting renovated in addition to the other side that's getting new build.
Yeah. And this is behind the cafeteria, so we have to create a new mechanical room. We're going to be expanding the cafeteria, but this is on the other side of that is kids eating, and this is on the back side of this wall. And that'll be all opened up, and it'll add a little bit of seating to his space, so that would be nice. So that's just kind of what he's got to deal with on a daily basis. And then if you go by, you'll see this big box. We framed this in last summer because they had to steal. Work is going to start on this spring. This will be the new office in vestibule. Currently, their office is on the inside of the building. We wanted to bring it to the outside. Plus, they need the office space, so we'll renovate the office on the inside to be classroom space and other things. So this will become the new office and vestibule here in the front of the school, and you open next fall.
That's right.
Any questions on those products or projects for either Christopher, Jeff, or Jeff? I know, it's a lot. They've done a great job, and their staff's
Oh, we're not done.
Oh, there's more. Okay, they are.
Okay.
He's going to pick it up a little more quickly here because this next bunch you've heard later.
Yep, this is just me. Opens next August, 900 students. It'll be phased open, pre-K 6 and then 7 and then 8. It's 2 stories, so the bottom floor is on the left. You don't have to see the details. But the second floor is on the right. Here's an aerial picture that on the lower left is the gym. On the upper right is pre-K and kindergarten. So we'll have 2 pre-K classrooms in here with kindergarten. And then 1st and 2nd grade will be over to the left, 3rd, 4th on the right, then 5th, 6th up to the top, 7th, 8th on the other side. Here's an aerial view of this site. Starting in January, those golf holes up along 71st are ours, and they're going to become, that's front parking lot right there. So we'll start digging that up here in a couple weeks. And then you can see from this site where we have brought in the roads, 8th Street and Dundee across. You can see where the new track and football field will go. And then there's a softball field and a grass soccer field. Out there you can kind of see the outline. That loop is the bus loop. So this is a 2nd floor. So this is the least finished of the end. These pictures here on the left, that's all drywalled now. That is in the 1st grade classroom. And then this open space here to the right will be the big, large common space or cafeteria there. So that opens next fall. And then Madison K-8 replacement school, this opens a year from now. We start construction this summer. 750 students. That'll also have pre-K. We'll bring it up to grade 8. There's a little bit on the programming there. Here's a picture of architects meeting with teachers and parents in a design advisory group. We have done this on every single project. When we start a project to get to give the architects a sense of where to move with the design. And there's an aerial photo for the right. If you see those 3 metal buildings on the left, those are going away this summer. So we're going to knock those down, and then the building is going to go right there. It'll be a 2-story building, so we're looking forward to that. We're working on pricing with that. Here's a schematic of the main end of the building, but we're working on with subcontractors, and that will start this summer with a completion date of 2023. And then additional projects that we've picked up, because we've done a boundary study, we had to create a boundary school for Toynton Academy. And so now this is going to allow us to add, these projects will eliminate portable classrooms and bring these buildings to capacity. So at Meeker Elementary, basically from the orange line to the left will be an addition. So we'll be putting those additional classrooms on. In the blue there, those are 2 pre-K classrooms, which will be new to that site. And then we're eliminating 8 portable classrooms. So we're right-sizing that building. And then Martinez, we're going back to Martinez and eliminate 8 portable classrooms there by doing an addition up there in the purple. So we're still working on final design on this. Both of these projects are set to start this summer and be open in 2023. And then to expand our CTE offerings, which was part of our bond language, career and technical education. We own a CDOT site downtown, and we are going to renovate that for CTE programming. You can see the 5 programs that will be there associated with our Jefferson Alternative High School, which is currently in an elementary building. So that's not right for big kids. And so basically what you see on this diagram, we own all that property. The new CTE Center in Jefferson High School will be in the blue on the right. The red will be the Martinez edition. So to save money on that, we hired the same contractor to do that work. And then this is just an example. It's a 2-story build for that project, and that will be open in fall of 2023. And then this summer, we'll be tackling these schools, Heath, Franklin, Greeley Central, and Maplewood. Same type of thing. We'll be going through doing all those renovations. Heath is going to get an office addition, which will be right in the middle of the courtyard up to the front there. With that, they'll get a smart lab on that, new office and secure entry. All those outbuildings around it will be eliminated, and they'll get a new wood shop and technical space on the north end, the upper right-hand piece where I have that orange slash. So here's just an example of that we've worked on architects. This work is going to start this summer. And then Franklin Middle School really needs an office addition. They have closets that have been converted where you used to store paper in, converted into offices for counselors and social workers, etc. So they need adult spaces. So we're going to do an expansion of their office along with their vestibule there for adult spaces. And then we're going to go through, and that's kind of this picture here. Kind of everything to the left of the blue will be the new addition. There, they need that. And then Greeley Central will be the complicated one. We're also starting this summer. We've already replaced the boilers there. We're going to be going through and doing building upgrades and a lot of career and college readiness in terms of their marketing program, their catering program, auditorium upgrades for an arts magnet school, along with their photography lab. And then the vestibule is going to be unique. We're not going to touch the castle. No one uses the front door, so we're going to come around to the north and kind of tie those 2 exterior doors together in a secure way. So that starts this summer. And then Maplewood also starts this summer. That'll be typical to the other elementary schools that I've already shown you pictures of. Smart lab, vestibules, carpet and paint. And then phase 4 next summer, we're already starting to talk about these. Here are the schools. So there's your list of schools. And then phase 5, summer of 2024, we're coming to these schools. And I didn't put phase 6 on there. I don't know if you had any questions on those. I can come back to those. And then charter schools, just to let you know, this is work that they've done because they also benefited from bond dollars. So Union Colony has hired an owner's rep, has been pretty active with building demolition and asbestos abatement. They're going to use ESSER money that they got to expand square footage, and then they're going to use bond money to come behind it to fill in the space. So the ESSER money adds on the square footage. So that'll be pretty cool for them. So they've submitted these plans for that. University Schools has gone through and done a lot of HVAC upgrades in terms of rooftop units. That's RTU, playgrounds, secured fencing, Frontier Academy. Everybody had HVAC needs. Count back when all these schools were built. It's about 20 years ago. That's about how long stuff lasts. Westridge has also been through this as well. So those are some things that they have done. Other data I have for you, based on just the bond language that we had when we said we need $395 million to do X, that would have eliminated 49 portable classrooms and will eliminate 49 portable classrooms. That's 35% of our 142 that we have on site. Currently, if I stopped work as planned next summer, after next summer, we will hit 54% without looking any far behind that. So we're on track to really almost double, or probably exceed doubling the elimination of temporary classrooms in our district. That we're pretty happy about. This chart, just all you got to do is look at that as red. When I started, red means it's beyond its useful life. Okay, everything's got a 20-year lifespan. We're beyond that by 10 years in some cases. Roofs, HVACs, everything else. That's summer of 2016. Since the summer of 2016, two things have happened. We passed an MLO, we passed a bond. MLO immediately went to some deferred maintenance, things that we had, and bond definitely went to buildings. The things you see in green have been done. By the end of next summer, 5 of those columns that are red, at the end of next summer will be green. So we're making great progress on large parts of our buildings that are very expensive to maintain, and those are all going on to a maintenance schedule for the future. So that's a positive sign of how we've been investing the money. And then here, this I can send you probably want to know this, a lot of parties. So next 2 years in terms of school openings. So January, right around the corner. Next August, 3 big ones. And then 5 of them following in 2023. And with all that, we're planning on 2024 and 2025 at the same time. I'm done. That's 25 months. Are there any questions that you have for me?
That was pretty thorough. But we may still
I left out the details.
I know you
This
did.
was the trimmed back version.
I'm well aware. But I bet we still have some questions for you, and Ms. Mueller's going to start us off.
So I just have to say, what have you been doing with all your free time, Kent? What I do want to do is thank our voters again for passing the mill levy override and the bond. So many of these buildings, people don't maybe completely understand, we're in just real disrepair. I remember attending meetings at Greeley West where the roof was literally leaking in the middle of the meeting. I cannot tell you how much we needed a lot of these upgrades. And so the only question I really have is well, and it's also to thank our community, because I wanted to make sure that everyone knows that you have also communicated really well with the city of Greeley and the community partners around these schools. I wanted to ask you in regards to Madison, is that also going to be a phased building type of situation? I think you've told me that before, but I just want to.
I think it will be because of steel.
Okay.
So I think we start with the long lead items first, and order that ahead, and then when it comes, we do it. So we will find that out in the next month when the contractors kind of finally lay that out, once they have all their subs on board and everything. So we'll find that out in the next month or two, exactly what their plan is.
Okay, so I just want to also thank the parents and the students for their patience and forbearance in going through all this, and in advance, the Boys and Girls Club, because I know that that is directly near them and that will impact them. So just thank you to the community and the principals and the students and the staff and the parents for their patience. These buildings are going to be, we've already toured several of them, they're amazing, and I think it's really going to provide the opportunity our students need to get a high quality education in District 6. Not that they aren't already, but to have the right facilities and the right tools just means a world of difference.
Thanks, Ms. Mueller. Ms. Mash.
Thank you for this very thorough presentation. I can't imagine how many different numbers and pieces of information are in your head. And thank you for sharing it in a way that we can see. I love the chart with the red and green. My question was just if you know where Fred Chartis School of Innovation might be going next year.
Well, we know next year, I think, is that final?
What we believe is going to occur is that we will be able to partner with UNC, and the school will be able to be on a part of the UNC campus at least for the next school year. That's probably not a long-term solution, so we're still working for the long-term solution, but with the move of Jefferson to the new Current Tech Ed Center, that opens up Jefferson High School, so that's a possibility. There's also the possibility of shifting another other programs in Jefferson High School, thereby opening up other possible future space for Fred Chartis. But it looks like we'll be able to have a partnership with UNC and working hard on the details to make that happen now.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Okay.
Dr. Pilch, Mr. Henson, I can't say thank you enough and as has already been said, but we should say again and again and again, thank you to our voters for both the MLO and the bond, and to see that chart turn from red to green is pretty fantastic. But also just thank you for the speed in which you guys have been able to do this. I mean, to think that it's just been 2 years since this bond issue was passed, and in that 2 years, we've been in supply chain shortages and steel shortages, and it really is amazing to me that these buildings are where they are, and we are still on time to open McAuliffe next semester. We're still on time to open Greeley West and Chapelleau and Twainton this coming fall. It's just amazing. And Kent, just one question, and just because I'm curious. And I know this has got to have consumed a lot of your life over the last 2 years, and it's probably different than being the principal at Central. But what's been the best part of doing it? What's the most exciting thing? I know what excites me, and I can guess what excites Ms. Pappas, and but what's been the best part for you?
I like working on building designs with 20 years of teaching experience and 10 years of principal experience, and putting that to work in a different way, and understanding education and facilities and how to get the most efficient way in terms of teaching and thinking in the future. That's been fun for me, is to apply 30-some years of knowledge in a different way. And in these buildings, it's been a lot of fun.
Right.
That's why I have the coolest job.
Well, thank you again. Thanks so much, and thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you to our principals who came and helped present. I know this is a busy time of year for you guys, so your time does not go unappreciated. We appreciate you being here. All right. Next item of business is our staff bonus. And that was pulled off of our consent agenda earlier, and this now will need to be an action item that needs to be motioned and seconded.
I move that the Board of Education of Greeley Evans School District 6 approves consent agenda item 713, staff bonus.
Second.
Thank you both. All right, we'll open it up for discussions and comments from on the item. Mr. Bentley.
Yeah, I think just, like Sherry said, just a little explanation. I think me and you have talked, so you just tell her where the money came from and just kind of explain it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask our Chief Financial Officer, Megan Sponsor, to make her way up here too. And I'll just say, please know, I appreciate your comments, Ms. Pyp, and then asking for it to come off. Thank you, Natalie, for pulling it. I'm happy to talk about it. We have a communication, if this passes, that's ready to go to staff tonight. So there's certainly, nothing that we're trying to hide here. I fully agree with your comments that we wish we could do more than what we're able to do for teachers. But we're really in an unprecedented time, I think, with what's happened with the economy over the last 16 months. It's actually, we've benefited significantly in this economy. I will also say that we have spent far fewer dollars than we would have spent had we not been in COVID. And the things that we needed to do with COVID, we were able to do with mill levy override and with the relief dollars. So with that, Megan, I'll let you talk a little bit more specifically about this.
All right. Thank you very much. So first of all, I just want to kind of give you the high-level picture of what the bonus looks like for staff. So staff members that work 4 hours, more than 4 hours a day, would get a $1,000 bonus, and staff members that work 4 hours or less a day would get a $500 bonus. We also have included our substitute teachers and classified subs in that as well. So all of them would also get a bonus as long as they have subbed at least 10 days this semester. So that's kind of what the bonus looks like for our staff. And how are we paying for that? As Dr. Pilch said, we had a very good financial year last year. I think that was a surprise to a lot of people. because we anticipated the worst, we planned for the worst, and fortunately, the worst did not come. So we had some revenues that came in from a variety of sources that caused our revenues to exceed our budget. So we had additional revenues. At the same time, we didn't spend the money that we had initially budgeted. So that created a surplus in our fund balance. And so that is what we would propose to cover these bonus expenses. I think Dr. Pilch made a good point with the relief dollars that came into the district. While we couldn't use those necessarily to offset budgeted expenses that we had already in our general fund, they did cover a lot of the extra costs that we encountered through COVID. So all of our PPE, additional staff in terms of nurses, health clerks, all of those people, we were able to fund out of our COVID relief dollars. So with that, I'll ask if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to try to answer them.
And I might just add to Megan that, one of the unfortunate things of the last 16 months has been that we've had a lot of open positions and positions that we can't fill. And we're not paying for near as many substitute teachers. So although all of that is a burden on our staff significantly, it also meant additional savings for us in revenue that we didn't spend on personnel. And so, we feel like, my team and I feel like if there's any way for us to pass some of this on to our employees, our boots on the ground, our people who've kept this together for the school district for almost 2 years now, that's an appropriate thing to do. We watched some school districts do some sort of a hazard pay or a bonus pay a year ago and even last summer, and we just weren't in a place financially where we were confident we could do it at that time. But we are in a place now where I feel confident making this recommendation and knowing that we'll be able to do what we have promised our taxpayers that we would do here in the system for our students.
Mr. Bentley.
Yeah, just more of a comment. The teachers and faculty and staff, they're the definition of overworked and underpaid. And from my point of view as an employer myself in this new post-COVID environment, it is really hard to maintain, retain, and find new people. So I think that the job that they've been through, I wouldn't wish that on my enemy. It's a tough deal, and they've done a great job, and they're all still here kicking, and the kids have thrived, and we're getting back to normal, and I'm just really happy that the district's in a place that we can do this.
Any other questions, comments from board members? I'll just echo what Mr. Bentley said. Thank you for doing this. Like most things that come before us, this is not generated by the board. Most good ideas come from our administration, and obviously we fully support it. But thank you for finding a way to do this for our teachers who have had, again, two really long years of changing and at times taking pay cuts and stepping up every time we've asked them to do anything. They've never flinched. And so thank you, Dr. Pilch. Thank you, Megan, for finding a way to do this for our teachers. We appreciate it. So with that, we'll need a roll call vote. Ms. Lemon.
Director Bentley?
Aye.
Director Mash?
Aye.
Director Matthews?
Aye.
Director Mueller?
Aye.
Director Norwood?
Aye.
Director Pappas?
Aye.
Director Sullivan?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Lemon. We are now to the final portion of our meeting, and that is our public participation regarding non-agenda items. And earlier in the evening, the board dedicated the time to hear from the community about topics relating to agenda items. This portion of the agenda provides the community an opportunity to present brief comments or pose questions to the board on other items relating to Greeley Evans School District 6. Written testimony or speaker handouts must be submitted to the board secretary, not to individual board members. The board typically does not engage in discussion or provide any immediate response to the input, but will ask district staff to respond as appropriate. The board is committed to providing a safe environment where all members of the community, school community, are treated with dignity and respect, and we expect speakers to exercise their speech rights responsibly. Undue interruption or other interference with orderly conduct of the board business will not be allowed. Any person who disturbs order may be required to leave. Defamatory or abusive remarks are always out of order. A speaker may terminate their privilege of address if, after being called to order, a speaker persists in improper conduct or remarks. Speakers will be heard in the order in which they signed up to speak, and comments are limited to 2 minutes. If more than one person wishes to speak on the same topic, please focus comments on providing only new information and not repeating views already expressed by other speakers. Thank you in advance for your participation. And our first speaker tonight is Mr. Tom Norton, resident of District 6, here to speak on the bond and construction programs. Thank you for being here, Mayor Norton. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. President, Michael Matthews, and members of the board, Dr. Pilch. Pleasure to be here, and I really am here primarily to provide support for the construction program and the positive things that you heard about what is being accomplished for all of these, the new schools and the added schools. Going back a ways, I would say, we have a bear showing up here. What's going on? Anyway,
excuse me. Sorry, Mayor. We will pause your time until we can. Okay, Steve. We're good? Good. We're not good? All right, I think we're ready.
Okay.
To continue, Mayor Norton. Thank you.
Well, thank you. In support of this program, I'd like to go back just a little bit and talk about, I really started my interest in School District 6 by being the community supporter of the STEM program at Northridge. And all of you probably know about that. That was kind of the first STEM program I think that we had, and that was before Dr. Pilch arrived on the scene. And the more I got to see what was there at that school and started looking at what was at other schools and noticing that all the schools were 30 or 40 years old and the lack of ability to teach in the atmosphere that we had, I took it upon myself to say, I'm going to try and get involved and make some things happen. And I have done that, and I appreciate very much the staff and the school board, the past school boards, the present school board, and the things that are going to happen over the next 2 years. It's really a pleasure from my perspective to sit back and to say, they've accomplished kind of a vision that I had. I had nothing to do with it, actually, except make a lot of noise. But they did do the job and are doing the job, and I could not be prouder of School District 6 and our staff and the manager to the things that's been accomplished. And I just wanted this school board and the new members to know that I've been out and looked at them a lot of times, and it's amazing. School to work is going to happen. 10, 20 years from now, we will be very, very proud of what we're doing right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Rhonda Solis, resident of District 6, here to speak on medical experts in masks. Welcome, Ms. Solis.
Good evening, President Matthews and board members. Hope you had a good time at CASB. Also wanted to say congrats on the Succeeds Prize. That was a great video to watch, and it just continues to show how great this district is and the hard work that everybody has done. Just wanted to mention, I have heard a lot of times in this room that you all are not medical experts. That is correct. You are elected officials, not medical experts. But we also have other elected officials that are not medical experts, which are the Weld County Commissioners. We also have another person who's not a medical expert who oversees the Will County Health Department. And so I just want to reiterate that as a district, the job of the district is to educate every child that comes through your door. Your commitment with your strategic plan is a personalized learning plan for each student and to make sure that they're either college or job ready. And your responsibility is to keep the children in your care protected, safe, and healthy. This is not a political thing, and you as a district have dealt with bloody noses, allergies, bumps, bruises. I remember norovirus, and we actually had to close a school because it was spreading so much that we closed it and actually cleaned it from top to bottom to stop the spread. You also deal with hand, foot, and mouth disease, lice, concussions, fevers, upset stomachs, and the list goes on and on. So even though you're not medical experts, you do have a protocol, you do have policies to deal with all of these medical issues, and COVID is no different. So I hope you continue to listen to the experts, because we actually do have some in our community. We have 3. We have UC Health, we have Sunrise Community Health Center, and we also have Banner. All 3 entities are recommending masks for anyone that is 2 and above, regardless of vaccination status. So I think those are the experts that we really need to look to when it comes to handling COVID, especially since our numbers have been rising. And just recently, we have reached 800,000 deaths due to COVID here in the United States. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Elise. Our next speaker tonight is Ms. Rebecca Larson-Reyes. She's a parent of students enrolled in District 6. She's a member of District 6 staff, and she's here to speak on the opportunities that the district has afforded her kids and her students. Ms. Reyes.
So in the spirit of the holiday season, I'm here as a parent of 2 D6 students and a teacher in the district, and I want to give thanks to everything that the district has provided to my own kids and my students at Central. I wish I had an hour to speak. I know I only have 2 minutes. I need to get right to the point. I've been a high school teacher for 23 years in public schools, 1 year in France, 15 in Wisconsin, and the past 7 in D6. And I can tell you by far that the leadership from the district, superintendent, administration, school board that I worked with from the past 7 years has been the most collaborative, inclusive, and functional group of professionals working every day to ensure that all students have access to a proper education. I've never seen a superintendent accomplish so much in such a small amount of time as helping to pass things like the much needed mill levy override and the bond issue. Now our students and my own kids can come to school not in portables. They don't have to look at asbestos hanging from the ceiling and have appropriate performance spaces. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. What has gone on inside of our facilities for the last 7 years has been absolutely awesome. I witnessed performances that my own kids have taken part in that are amazing, and the Young Chautauqua program is spectacular. On another note, the diversity of students attending our D6 schools is such an asset to our community, and I'm so grateful for the board in your support of this diversity. At Central, I'm blessed with such amazing students, and I'm humbled each and every day as they are some of the brightest, most perseverant students I worked with in my 23 years of teaching. On an academic note, at Central alone, we had 45 AP scholars last year, and over $2.8 million in scholarships were awarded to Central students. And all of this happened, mind you less, at the height of a pandemic, thanks to our leaders who are able to safely keep our students and myself learning for the majority of the time. And my best hope is that this work will continue forward in the coming years for the sake of our students, because as you can see, they truly deserve it. And I just want to thank you so much for the past 7 years and wish you all a happy holidays. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Larson-Reyes. Our next speaker is Ms. Sherry Pyp, resident of District 6, here to speak on mass. Ms. Pyp.
Back again. First of all, Ms. Nash, thank you for pulling that and discussing it further for the board. Where the money came from is perfectly understandable, and I appreciate you listening and doing that. And as I did the first time I was up here, I take my notes that I had and I throw them completely out the window, because once I get up here, everything that I want to say changes. So I actually have to agree with Ms. Solis on something, that this board is charged with educating every student in this district, and this board is charged with having personal plans for every student and making sure that every student feels safe and secure and is able to educate and learn at the way that they need to learn. And I think that is about the time where these masks need to come off. I sent you pictures, and I know you all got them. I sent in pictures earlier today of 2 young students. Neither one of them are in this district, but they are members of this Weld County community. I am friends with the parents of both of those students. One of them is suffering from a very severe case of impetigo that cannot heal no matter how many antibiotics he has been given, because he has to continue to wear that mask 7 hours a day, every day, and the Windsor School District will not give his parents a mask exemption. The other one is a young man who has been healthy until this point, and after receiving his first COVID vaccination, ended up in the hospital with heart issues. This is happening in our community. Parents need to be given the choice as to what their level of risks are. Parents need to be given the choice as to whether or not they should or should not be wearing a mask. Yes, I pull my mask down when I come up here to talk because I myself have been diagnosed with something that my doctor refers to as mask lung. I keep this mask on my face for more than 5 minutes at a time, and I will continue to cough and pull mucus out of my lungs and my throat for the next 20 minutes to an hour to 2 days, however long it takes me to clear it out. I can't wear it. I don't wear it when I don't have to. And I will say, I just received pictures again this morning from someone who sent me pictures of a couple of the board members celebrating at a recent fundraiser without masks. And unless this board is willing to wear their masks 7 hours a day, Monday through Friday, I think it's time you start to let parents make those choices themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pyp. Our next speaker is Ms. Anne-Marie Hagan. She's a resident of District 6, parent of students enrolled in District 6, and a member of District 6 staff. She's coming, welcoming new board members and sharing amazing things that are happening in the district. Ms. Hagan.
Good evening. My name is Anne-Marie Hagan, and I'd like to start by thanking our veteran board members for continued support and love of our District 6 teachers, and most importantly, our students and their families. I'd also like to welcome our new board members. My whole family is D6. I've been a part of our district as an educator for over 26 years. My husband serves the district in a different way, working in our nutrition department. Our daughter, is continuing her path in performing arts that started at Chapelot Arts Magnet and is now on to Greeley Central, where she is a proud and successful Wildcat. If you are new to serving our district, I anticipate you're jumping in and educating yourself. Our public schools are full of incredible opportunities for all of our students. I hope you dig in and research our district website to see how far we have come. I hope you know the minute our world was put into lockdown in March of 2020, our district leadership team was putting an extremely detailed, explicit, and effective plan into place. This plan ensured that our students got back to learning ASAP. I hope you discover that we've been creating, writing, and teaching K-12 curriculum, the basics, based on Colorado and Common Core state standards for over 20 years. I hope you educate yourself on the tireless work that occurs and the countless hours our teachers put in to ensure we are educating the whole child. I hope you realize that for many years we have had the career and college-ready pathways available to all high school students with career and technical education programs that I quote, include 27 pathways with experienced faculty and industry partners to engage in real-world professional projects, internships, and apprenticeships. If you researched our district, you would understand that many of our students thrive in our schools because we incorporate social emotional learning to teach the whole child. We create safe classroom communities with high expectations. Finally, I hope you know the hate and ignorance that has been hurled at our board members these past few months has been unnerving, incredibly uncalled for, and utter nonsense. I hope you know that is not how we do business in District 6. Thank you for your service, your never-ending support of our schools, our students, our families, and our teachers.
Thank you, Ms. Hagan. Our next speaker is Ms. Jamie Weber, resident of District 6, here to speak on spending.
A couple weeks ago, our board went off to the convention at the lovely Broadmoor Resort. Just wanted to mention a couple of things where coffee is $102 a gallon at the Broadmoor for this event. To put that in perspective, Starbucks charges $17.95 for a gallon of coffee. That's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the reckless spending of this board, but I really am just gonna abandon that today because I wanna speak about the fact that this board keeps talking about equity and fairness and things like that. And parents are being thrown out of here because they won't mask up while you guys went off to your fancy event and didn't mask at all. And don't mask for a lot of your hours outside of this boardroom. It's disgusting. We're all sick of the double standard that you guys hold. And it's not a good example. It doesn't build trust with the community. And Dr. Pilch, I sent you an article that talks about how delayed learning is occurring because of masking. Kids are testing at an average of 25% lower than they were before because they've been masked. I can send those studies to the rest of the board if they care. However, when I send things to the rest of the board, they don't respond. So I don't think they care. We were at the county commissioners meeting talking with them about a few things that concerned us. We weren't attacking them. We were there to talk. And we were received with respect. We were not required to wear a mask. We were treated with the utmost kindness. And so if you guys need a hint on how to build trust with the community and the parents, perhaps you should talk to the commissioners. I'm absolutely disgusted with the way that we've been treated. Most of us have a medical exemption for masks, but if we want to speak in person, we have to strap one on our face. And you guys should be embarrassed about that.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Our next speaker is Ms. Angelica Weiss, resident of District 6, here to speak on the madness.
Just 1.2 on the whole, you guys being in charge of our children's health, which is true. There's a lot of responsibility given to the school and to the teachers. But for example, when kids have lice, we don't tell parents they have to shave their children's heads and things like that. It's still up to the parents to deal with the situation. I kind of want to point out about the Jackson Elementary School this week. Apparently they ran out of masks and they were sending kids back into the car line as cars were pulling away to get masks from their parents. One parent apparently had to take their children home, get a mask, and then they were late for school, obviously, very late. I don't know how this is keeping our kids safe when they are told to go back to a car line that's pulling away. No one's watching for children coming back to a car line after you've dropped them off. I find that super dangerous, and it shows that this is not about safety. Also, apparently you don't have to wear a mask anywhere else around the board, like if they're in a social gathering. I have pictures. But when it's in this room, it's required. And that makes there's no science behind this. I don't understand. My kid goes to a school out of district. They have not masked. There's one teacher in the whole entire school that wears a mask. Nobody else does. They have not had one reason to quarantine. There's no issue. Nobody is sick there more than anywhere else. They have had no COVID issues. No one's quarantined. Nobody's dropping dead. Other school districts, we have most of them east of here are not masking their children, never have. They've had not huge outbreaks. Nobody's getting sick there. I don't know why we're masking the kids that are the least vulnerable to this virus. And they're the most affected by wearing masks. They're running around, they're active. You guys at board meet or at your convention probably not wearing masks from what I hear from another board member in another district. You're not moving around, you're not wearing masks, but these kids are moving around all day long and they can't breathe or learn properly according to studies.
Thank you, Ms. Weiss. Our next speaker is Ms. Candace Sawyer, resident of District 6, here to speak on current events.
Like Ms. Sherry Pyp said and a few other people, I have a medical condition that requires that I don't have to wear a mask. Not only is it a constitutional right, but I cannot wear one, and I don't have to disclose why. It's good for me not to. So on that note, I'm here to let you guys know, and I'm sure you're aware that Polis came out recently and just said that he is no longer requiring a statewide mask mandate, that this pandemic is now over. There is no emergency. So Douglas County has followed suit. They are the third largest in our state with 70,000 students. No county mandate. The district just repealed that this last week. So did the district of Academy 20, which is the 11th largest in our state with 30,000 students. No county mask mandate. They repealed theirs as well. On that note, District 6 is the 12th largest in our state, which is 23,000 children. No county mandate, but one of the most stringent policies we've seen. Our children do not have to wear masks anywhere else in this county. So what's to say they aren't going to be exposed to COVID somewhere else and bring it to school? We don't know, because we don't know where they've been. So why are they masked in our schools? This is absolutely ludicrous. It is time for parent choice for what is best for our children when it comes to their health. Weld County stats based off of 2019 population, which is 324,492 people, 0 to 19 years old, 0 deaths as of the current date of today. Not one child has died from COVID in our entire county. 20 to 39-year-old, 2% death. Not even COVID, it was an underlying issue. The highest case rate since they started school back in August of this year, back on November 9th, there was 29 cases in 80634 area code. 80631 had 20 cases on December 6th, and 80620 had 12 cases on 11/16. Side note, cold flu and RSV season is upon us. It starts in October and runs through January. The tests that they are doing on these kids are PCR tests which have been recalled because they cannot differentiate between what virus it's looking for. So you guys need to be aware of the stats and really what matters here. You need to unmask our kids and make it parent choice.
Thank you, Ms. Hawyer. Our next speaker is Ms. Sonia Miller. She's a resident of District 6. Here to speak on symbolism in the logo.
That's not it, Mr. Matthews. Can you read the whole thing?
Discrimination against people who can't.
No, read the whole thing. The whole thing as I wrote it, please.
I don't have that before me. I'm sorry.
You don't have that before you. I'm taking this ridiculous thing off. I had to wear this to get in here, to talk to you guys, even though nobody wears it anywhere else in this building. I've been here since 4 o'clock. I was locked in the lobby. Again tonight until now when I had to wear this stupid thing to get in here, okay? Well, I watched, I don't know how many people go in and out of this building not having to mask. Is it based on their vaccination status? I asked your legal counsel that. He says, oh, we're privy to know who is vaccinated in this district and who is not. But that's not actually the case, is it? It is, if you're an employee here, you don't have to wear a mask. But if you're a student here or a visitor here, you have to wear a mask. You can be in this building anywhere you want without a mask on unless you're a member of the public. Is that correct? Does anybody want to answer that? Is that science? Are we relying on science here? Second thing I want to address is why Ms. Pilch makes $264,000 a year, and that was before her last raise, I assume, at her glowing review for this last month. I think that's an absurd amount of money that is spent on one person's income when we have wonderful teachers in this district that deserve a lot more than that. Symbolism. 666 is in our district logo. It's in every logo. You can see it right there. You can see it right there. You can see it all throughout this building. I want to know, Pastor Michael Matthews, how you feel about being president of a board with 666 in it. And I want to know when something's going to be done about it. This isn't about safety. We know this isn't about safety. So quit playing this game and unmask our kids. This is causing heart attacks in children. This vaccine is causing heart attacks in children. I'm sure you know this, Natalie Mash, since you're a nurse. I'm sure you've read some of these reports, but I just want to read you a couple. I'll just highlight. I got a couple highlights here. She began having shortness of breath after getting her second shot. Her parents found her deceased in her bed with no comorbidities. Found dead, 22-year-old, second dose.
Can you finish your thought, please?
Second dose of vaccine. Death certificate stated natural causes. Okay, patient's grandmother found him dead in the bathroom at 4:30 after his vaccine. Do not mandate this vaccine. Get these masks off our kids. Quit being hypocrites, all of you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Well, that's the end of our meeting for tonight. And thank you for joining us, whether you're here in person. Thank you for, it has been a long time. This has been a 3-hour meeting, so we appreciate your patience, whether you were here as an administrator, or teacher, or member of the public. We appreciate your time tonight, and especially the time of our students. One last thing. Today, and you probably missed this, it's because there's so many things happening these days in our world, going on with Christmas and concerts and exams. But today, December 13th, is National Ice Cream Day. So make sure you've got an hour till Tabasco Robbins closes. Make sure you frequent it. This meeting is adjourned.